Welcome everyone to 2018 Blade&Soul World Championship Day 2 as we are joined in once again by wonderful people here at Blade&Soul, just finding it out to see who is indeed the best in the world. My name is Joel Sophie, and joining with me on both sides is going to be Bruinj and also Ending Life. And we had a wonderful day 1 events, ladies and gentlemen, and we're looking through this phase as day 1, all 9 teams really finding it out. We found out that the best 3 teams so far has been from Korea, China, and Russia. And now we do have these 4 teams that are going to be fighting for that 4th spot in the semifinals.
Yeah, we do, and we do have 4 teams, like you said, Japan, Thailand, and Taiwan, as well as Bad Intentions from Europe. And we have these 4 teams, and only 1 team will make it up into the wild cards.
And already we saw
to the semifinals.
Well, from the wild
yeah,
card.
from the wild card. Okay.
There you go. But it's somewhat surprising that we've already seen the likes of NA get knocked out, and now Bad Intentions, can they join Russia?
And that's the question, really. I mean, we were looking at these teams that were working so hard to join into this wildcard bracket, and now these 4 teams will be onto a marathon events, literally all day long on Blade&Soul, and it will be double elimination to find out which of the 4 teams is the best and deserving to get to the semifinals, because the other 3 teams that have already made it to the semifinal, they're not playing a single game today, and they're going to be at home resting and just getting ready for that next stage. So that's a huge advantage for those 3 teams out there. But all these 4 teams that are here right now, the 3 second place teams, along with Bad Intentions that came in as the best team out of 3rd place teams from yesterday, we are looking at those 4 teams to see which is the best of today.
Yeah, and I'm very excited to see these 4 teams because one of the teams here, 200 IQ, we haven't got to see them yet on broadcast. Obviously, they played yesterday, and that's the reason why they're still here today and not get eliminated. But for them to be still in the wild cards, it at least means they're better than the 2 that got eliminated, unfortunately. And they're gonna duke it out to get it into the semifinals. But they're going up against Japan in their first matchup. You guys will see that bracket very soon, but Japan, I think, is one of the stronger teams that are actually in this wild cards division right now. What do you think?
I mean, you saw yesterday up against GC Busan Red. Unfortunately, they didn't get that 2nd point on the board in that scenario, but they got so close to perhaps really sticking it to them versus Bad Intentions. It came down to the wire. It really could have gone either way, and it just goes to show that when you have Satoshi, when you have Tatsuki, there are those veterans that can come in and just show dominance.
And they really show just a pure skills of an experience that really translates a very long way in this Blade&Soul tournament. And we are getting to that phase where a lot more teams will be eliminated after today. We got to see North America and Vietnam be the worst 2 out of the tournament from yesterday, and they are already eliminated from the 1st day of the event. And now going to day 2. Coastal overview is still just as same as yesterday. We got done with the open qualifiers, and now we're heading on to the wildcard match. The first half is what you're seeing now. It's going to be starting at 12 p.m. Korean Standard Time, which is what we're enjoying in right now. And they're gonna we're gonna have all the 4 teams face off against each other. That will further decide the matchups that will happen in the second half.
Yeah, exactly. And you guys can see the rest of the overviews. The times will obviously all be in KST. So take a screenshot of this and get the times for today and tomorrow, because we do have a first half and a second half. So we're probably, if the first half match end early, we may have a little bit of a longer break than usual. So just get used to that. And just one more clarification. The first half of the match, as you guys saw before, will be in best of 5s. And the second half will obviously, as written here, will be best of 7s. So we're going to have a lot of games today, Brunch.
And it's going to be very interesting because now that we don't really have as much of a focus on those points, it's really going to come down to who can snatch up those 3 points rather as soon as possible.
Yeah, it's not going to be about the point system of +3, +5, none of that nonsense from yesterday. It's going to be about the typical stuff that we very know much about for the entire year we had for Blade&Soul tournament is best of 5. Literally, who can get to that 3 wins first. If you get 3 wins from set 1 to set 3, then already the series is over and you will be advancing to the next round. So best of 5 for the first half here, and that's going to be the first half that we're looking on the left side of this table here in Noonsan Fan Club coming from Japan. We'll be up against Thailand with 200 IQ in the first matchup, and Gandhi will be going up against Bad Intentions from Europe. So Taiwan versus Europe in that second match, and the winner of those 2 matches will be facing it off in match number 3. And for those matches to come, they will just be waiting the entire time, and they will not have to play a single match until the very end here. So you want to win as many matches as you can, so you may want to ensure you gain those benefits as soon as you can.
I mean, at that point, you're just going to be, as you said, pretty much 1 match away from securing that spot, and you're going to have time to not only rest, but also study your opponents, and I think that's going to be very important too.
Yeah, that studying opponent thing is real big because, you know, these people, these teams, they have to kind of get used to it, and they probably practiced on their off times, but they have not gone up against every single team multiple times. So just watching one of them play against another team gets you that, you know, double the study time that you don't usually have.
And especially now, because last year we saw an advantage with the wall bank strategy. This year, it's all about the summoner, man. I mean, with the current patch, the way they work, it's when 1v1s. I wouldn't say it's a default win for the summoner, but it's pretty tough no matter who you're going to be up against, unless it's a mirror matchup, I guess.
And we got to see an observation from yesterday that the teams that are using the summoner, you remember the China and also Russia as well. Russia's literally undefeated. They haven't dropped a single set from the entire day of day 1. So a very impressive start. No other team from any other region were able to get that done. So it really a big shout out to Russia from their success in day 1. And all that really involves is a summoner. Both of those regions, both of those teams really relished over the good use of those summoner, and they found a lot of success with it. So I wonder if the other teams will start to adapt here.
Well, I do have to say, if you're Russia, you also got to look at Saitan. That gunslinger has been such an absolute menace. He was pretty much, for the most part, in the arena exclusively, even attacks.
Yeah, and you know, you mentioned Saitan's flame gunslinger especially, and you know, we kind of briefly touched up on this before we got onto the broadcast, and you know, you also mentioned that he's on the field most of the time, right? And that's actually something that reminds me of Byungyeon Jun in Season 1 Korea, where, not in Season 2, Season 1, he was a flame gunslinger in Korea, and he was on the field like 90% of the time, just as Saitan is right now. So I'm very curious as to if GC Busan Red can go up against this undefeated Russia and have a chance or even maybe defeat them even when they have that summoner and that flame gunslinger on their team.
And it's going to be interesting to see, but of course before we will head to that perhaps matchup, it will be Noonsan Fan Club versus 200 IQ and Japan versus Thailand. I mean, Joel, these teams, haven't really seen them play before, but first up, Noonsan Fan Club, you know these guys. It's Ikuta as the newest member, but Katsuki is going to most likely play that summoner in the ones Warlock in the tag, and of course, to round things up, it's going to be Satoshi.
Satoshi Sekimoto, we know him very, very well. But hey, it's a Sekimoto. Unless he starts winning, he's not going to get that time. Oh my word. Tetsuki Mitsuno, you are the man.
He made the cat ears with his hair.
He literally made... Cat's only up to 2 years, but he has 4 years now. So how does that work out? So, I mean,
well, either way, he looks like Chun-Li though from Street Fighters.
But like, he's trying to go for multiple characters at the same time. He's trying to go be a cat and Chun-Li. Chun-Li's not even Japanese.
Yeah,
he's Chinese.
And he has a Naruto whiskers when he turns into the Nine Tails.
You know what? You know, he's going for a lot of things at once, and he was a bit angry yesterday, so, you know, seemingly putting that cat ears back on, meaning that he's a little bit more joyful into playing this matchup. So, his opponent, it's going to be 200 IQ. First time we're seeing them on broadcast. They are going to be featured from Thailand, and Ekase Kasharan, Ratapan Wongsuan, and also Panya Koksemwang. All these guys are the best players from Thailand. They are representing here looking like they want to find some success because they were the second best team in their group to be in this position now. So going up against Japan, we knew that Japan was really in a stacked group altogether. Talking about EU, Korea, Japan, all in that group A, and barely were able to get out, and EU really had their own troubles as well. So we'll see if that stacked group makes Japan a stronger opposition compared to Thailand, but we have to wait to find out.
Yeah, we'll have to see about exactly what Joel has said, but just keep in mind that everyone from Group A is still in the game. They're still fighting Japan and EU, even though they're in the wild cards, and only one team will make it into the semifinals, which is tomorrow. But today, we still have so many games, and here we go with the compositions.
And it's going to be interesting to see how they stack up against each other, because while Tetsuki is going to play that Warlock support role for the tag setup, instead on the other side you still have that Summoner. So I'm interested to see especially how that particular pick matches up versus Satoshi's Gunslinger.
It is very interesting to see a Warlock and a Summoner on that same team for Thailand, and we just don't usually see that kind of composition. But Summoner, really a main source of damage. If you kind of rely on that one, and if you can get the aerial, if you can get the knockup, if you can make sure you get that crucial CC where it's needed, the Summoner we know can put out lots of damage, especially in this current patch. So along with the Blade Engine, we'll see what happens in the next match here.
Yeah, I'm very curious, like you said, the two compositions that they brought out, how it will work out.
Finally, we get to see Japan versus Thailand as we see Satoshi Sekimoto and his team. Can they get at the first win? We're going to find out in this first tag match. We are finally joined in by Noonsan Fan Club and also 200 IQ. As Satoshi makes his mark as the starting lineup. And we're going up against Ratapon with the Summoner, but you already see a huge damage going towards the side of Satoshi.
I mean, already forcing out that assist, coming in with the Maelstrom. We'll see expenses and resources used from the side of Japan, and not as much from a 200 IQ.
All right, we'll have to see how this pans out here, but they are trading, but now Satoshi is getting punished for that early damage that he did to the Summoner, and we talk about the Summoner able to do that damage output. We knew that, but we saw yesterday that Summoner is just a viable pick nowadays.
And we saw Tetsuki trying to go for the area, but was a little bit interrupted by Ratapon, especially with the cat trying to save his master. And now we're going to a situation where Satoshi got a little bit of damage early, but heals right back up, and you see the cat still very, very annoying in its tracks here, and Satoshi having a hard time.
I mean, look at this neutral game. They're losing out so much here in Noonsang Fan Club at that, and this is exactly the picks I was talking about, but now this is a good catch. The draw is going to force out a potential tag out here, coming out of 200 IQ.
He still has the backstab available, the Summoner, and he's healing up and taking damage at the same time. So for now, we're sure that they don't want to go down to a TKO if you're 200 IQ, but you never know because they are just trading damage. Oh gosh, that was super close.
Playing with fire, playing with shadow, I guess in this case, but it's going to be Tetsuki coming in instead here for Noonsang as well, so it's Warlock v Warlock matchup. Both of them should have those respective time distortions available, so we'll see who's going to pull the trigger first, because so far, it's going to be only Frawl on the side of 200 IQ.
First tag point used by both teams now. Tetsuki Mizuno back out to the field, and Panya is going to be the one to rival him in the tracks. Warlock mirror match, as you do say, Brunch. Of course, we do see a very good showing from Satoshi in that first rotation, and Ratapon had a really tough time even with the Summoner. So how does that translate into the later matches? And that's what we're going to find out. We do see Tetsuki trying to go for the aerial here.
There was the aerial, not too much happened, but you mentioned about how, Satoshi did very well in his first run, and you can just see with that resources that are left on the side of 200 IQ, a lot more use on the side of 200 IQ.
But look at this, the save coming out of the Summoner was so good. Look at Panya's HP, it's still so healthy considering they got the air launch and the Gunslinger came in with the damage. It didn't matter, and that's what we were talking about. The Summoner right now is just able to do so much for a tag team setup as well.
Yep, there we go. Another air launch here. Not doing too much here, but now they're coming with the counter.
We see now Yuki just having a tough time through that one. Panya getting that aerial and also the damage with that Warlock. Very nicely done, and even with that Sanctum still feeling very, very safe on his tracks here. So now Yuki, having just come out onto the field, gonna feel a little bit nervous about that one. He does have all his escapes though.
And that's going to be important because he needs to look out for that catch. 7 seconds now left for Panya. They need to make sure they punish this up as an opportunity, of course, but Maelstrom used and can't really engage for now, but he does get the Soaring Falcon. That could be good.
There we go with the knockdown into the back row tech chase, forcing out that reversal from the Blade Dancer. Very well played on the side of Naoyuki here, but will he be able to capitalize on the Blade Dancer that doesn't have that escape right now?
And we're looking at the situation where we're seeing the aerial come through. Ratapon just trying to defend, and Ekisid still taking a lot of damage, but you see that damage is going on the other end as well. But Ekisid ended up taking a lot of damage there. Very good use of the lack of escapes there, as you were talking about from Naoyuki.
And you see now the lack of resources on both sides. In the beginning, Newsong Fan Club had that advantage of the resources. However, whenever they got that air launch, 200 IQ, they literally have 200 IQ. They come in for that defensive interfere. They also do the damage. But look at this aerial, and he is knocked.
Beautiful execution. I was just going to talk about how Ekisid is running that win-slash build, which is really favorable in that matchup where you do have only one escape on the side of the Blade Dancer, but already making even better work of that aerial advantage. So looking good right now for 200 IQ, 2 versus 3. It's not over, especially when you still have Satoshi and Tatsuki, but things are not looking good for Newsong Fan Club.
And this is very important because we thought the Japanese would be on the upfront here, but that one aerial coming from the wall, enough damage to really finish things off, especially with Ekisid trying to help out all that. And that's a very important point coming from Thailand, and they won't want to get damaged here because Panya gets up in the air but does get saved a little bit by his teammate.
Yeah.
This is the problem when you have that pedal storm to defend versus all these projectile DPS like Tatsuki, like Satoshi, which have been kind of the MVPs of Newsong Fan Club. It's just so difficult for them to get any avenues, really.
Exactly. They have to get rid of that pedal storm. They have to bait it out and then create a new opening. However, it just seems like the summoner on the side of 200 IQ literally knows exactly when to use it to negate all the damage coming in from the projectiles.
At the very least, though, for the side of Japan, do you see Ratapon now without assist, without tag outs available? So 1 more minute, 40 seconds is going to be the timer until they get awarded, both teams that is, with those additional assists.
And last tag point being used by Satoshi to get Tatsuki back out to the field. But if you're on Japan, you're feeling pretty nervous about this current situation. 3 members, full health for Thailand and Japan. Now we're looking at Tatsuki and Satoshi. What can they do with a Warlock and Gunslinger composition?
Yeah, well, we'll have to see, because to be honest, I think a 3v2 is still doable with the Gunslinger and a Warlock, rather than like a 1v3. So, you know, let's just keep a lookout right now to see a great aerial coming from the side of Newsong Fan Club, maybe even it out. If not, if that's not the case, then, you know, they're just going to slowly decay into a loss.
Yeah.
Oh, man, but Panya really, for all I think, is saving him in that particular scenario. Now going to make things very difficult for Newsong Fan Club. Satoshi coming in, no assists, no tag outs left for both of these members from the Japanese side.
And same for Thailand as well. You see the last tag point had to be used by Panya to just get out of there. Ratapon's going to be out here. See, all these gray marks. It's literally saying that there's no resource whatsoever, no tag points, no interferes, and means that Ratapon has to stay out here for the next minute and 20 seconds. Same for Satoshi, so it's going to be basically a 1v1 bout until we get to that 3-minute mark where the interfere points will come out. I'm sure the interactions will increase a little bit over there.
But already the damage is pretty good on both sides. However, if Satoshi doesn't get even like something bigger right now, it's gonna be tough.
Talk about it. There we
this
go.
Might be.
There we go. There is something big.
The damage is good, but he needs to keep it up because 9 more seconds left until the assist, and at that point, it's going to be all about 200 IQ because they have the member advantage, and the summoner can sustain so much, and now with the extra shield, can he return the damage?
No!
The kill at that as well.
And Ratapon just getting the revenge on the Satoshi. I was just about to say that Satoshi should take advantage of that situation where he did a lot of damage onto Ratapon to finish him off before that minute mark does run out, but that just means that one less member for Tatsuki and his friends means that this is going to be eventual game over for the Japanese side.
Exactly, and you know, the butterfly swarm and the rumble bees, you know, I understand the bees hurting, but the butterfly, they really hurt.
I mean, you know, it's insect fiesta in a sense, I guess.
Oh, man.
But,
oh, no.
10 seconds now left here for the summoner until it gets forced out. But Tatsuki, even though he has that assist, not really going to matter. No crawl, no assistance left. And it is going to be 200 IQ with the first win.
And you definitely could tell after that Sanoka up to Satoshi Sekimoto, that second member from Japan, you knew that the Thailand side were very, very comfortable with that situation. All full member health, and you're looking at these 3 guys and really confident about their endeavors of what they're trying to accomplish today. They're not scared of Japan. They're not scared of any team in this wildcard tournament. And I think they're really trying to tell us that they're not from a weak group, that they're also from a strong group, and they're ready to take this by the horns and really come out as the first place of this group here.
And kind of the extra thing is, before the broadcast started, you guys were saying probably Japan is your favorite, but already we see 200 IQ perhaps proving you wrong at the very least.
Yeah, and you know, like we said before, this is the first time on broadcast. We didn't get to see them yesterday, but finally on the first showing, they are definitely leaving a mark. And I also want to talk about how Tatsuki Mizuno is on the Warlock right now. And yes, the Warlock is needed because we have Satoshi playing the Gunslinger, and we have Ikuta, who is actually a Blade Dancer main, it seems like. So it's unfortunate that Tatsuki can't play his main, which is actually a Summoner. And you know, you see how viable the Summoner is right now in this meta. And I could tell that Tatsuki inside, he wants to play that Summoner. He has the muskers drawn, he has the ears made, but he's playing the Warlock.
And you know what that means? Game 2 is going to be a single. Maybe that's his chance to really shine and come out. Yeah, to really say that, you know, I'm going to play the Summoner and I'm going to actually do good and I'm actually going to get a point for my team, and that's what's going to be hopeful here. But Thailand, I'm definitely sure that they're not going to give up that point quite so easily. So we're looking at these Japanese players kind of surprised by the fact that they lost that game one pretty handily there. So you already say that. We see Tatsuki Mizuno on his hands, on the keyboard and mouse, and I think he's going to be ready to play game 2 here.
And that's going to be very important for them because they need to pick those wins on the board. They need to make this a 1v1. They do not want to give up this first match because already losing out one, you're going to be waiting in the loser's bracket, and it's going to be lights out after that.
Alright, well, we do see that Summoner mirror match, and you know, we've never gotten to see a Summoner mirror match in maybe past 3 years or maybe even longer, especially in Worlds. And you know, this, you know, I have to say it again. Yes, I've been repeating myself, we've been repeating ourselves, but the viability of the Summoner is back, and let's see which Summoner now on either side is the stronger one.
It's going to be very important here. Tatsuki Mizuno really frustrated by his Warlock performance in that game 1. Wants to make a retaliation for himself in this game 2. It's the Summoner mirror match, guys. Tatsuki Mizuno versus Ratapon to see whether we're going to get a point exchange for Thailand. Let's get the game underway. Here we go with Tatsuki trying to get some points back for his team, and could start with this one. Game 2 win could do Japan wonders here, but only taking the first bit of damage is going to be Ratapon doing the damage.
And I'm surprised to see actually 200 IQ pick up a potential lead here. Look at that backstep already expended, 50% HP down. I'm out of words, really.
Wow. Alright, well, we do have the Pedal Storm used as well. No backstep on the side of Tatsuki. We'll see what will happen. He has to trade out some damage here for Tatsuki here. If he allows, there we go. There is the trade of the escapes. And this is needed because if you're unable to trade after you use your escape, then you're just going to be on the backside. You're going to just constantly get pushed back. And another aerial coming in.
And you do speak of that 3 more seconds until Tatsuki gets his escape back. So this is now his opportunity to go for that all-in damage. With the help of Scat, he can get some real damage done.
Cool, but now with the Sunflower damage coming in, Sunflower versus Bees, we'll see who can come out on top because so far it's been all about those Rumble Bees. As we'll see Tatsuki losing more and more HP. I mean, at this point, might be forced to use that backstep soon enough, as long as we do see Ratapon use that CC for a potential air launch. And now Pedal Storm on cooldown. Pretty dangerous.
Yeah, everybody has their escapes back, but you do mention the Sunflower versus the Bees. Tatsuki is holding the Sunflower, which is causing the Bees to come to him and do the damage. And once again, in the area, the Bees are just eating out the Sunflowers and just killing out Tatsuki.
Doesn't even have time to use a backstep, and when you're stuck up in the air with those Rumble Bees coming at you at non-stop, we know that Ratapon is going to come out as a winner, and Tatsuki still frustrated. I mean, he's been frustrated the entire tournament. And you talk about day 1 of what he's gone through, talking about a rematch with him and Yunte Sol. We remember him from yesterday. A slight look at that, and Now we're getting into the second day here. A tag 1 loss in terms of him playing the Warlock, not playing so well. And it's game 2, he just wants a revenge. He wants to really play the Summoner and he can prove that he's a decent player, but doesn't get the win again. So that's going to be a real heartbreaker for Tatsuki.
And not only that, it's match point right now for Thailand. All they need is one more point on the board and they have so much room to work with. Next up, it's going to be a 1v1 or a tag setup, so we'll see which one will be the case. But I'm surprised mostly because when you think of summoners on the world stage, who do you think of? One of them has to be Tatsuki. So coming into this one, Radapon with the Rumblebees, just superior.
Yeah, and you know, like you said, we remember Tatsuki as the summoner from Japan, but we do get that tag match from the random roulette. But as I was saying, Tatsuki is one of those summoners that we remember when we think of worlds with different regions coming in. Same goes from the Russia Artem. He's also a summoner that we remember from worlds. But now Rathapon is another summoner that's coming in from 200 IQ that will probably leave a mark and, you know, remind us that there's 3 summoners now to remember.
And you talk about remembering for next year. What about this year? Ratapon and his team can make it very far into this tournament if they can keep this composure up. And looking very good against Japan for the first 2 games. And another tag match will only bring smiles to the Thai side. So Ratapon and his friends really need to pick things up together to make sure they extend this lead over to game 3. And this last tag match could be the match winner.
And considering the fact that the first one was pretty devastating at that too. What do you look at Noonsong Fan Club? You look at Satoshi looking to build up that advantage, but there was none to be had because on the other end, Radapon in the opener was lying in wait and just had the overall better match.
Yeah, and you know, either side, they have the Gunslinger on the side of Japan and they have the Summoner on the side of Thailand. And, you know, having these 2 classes on either side, it just means that the other 2 players, they have to create that aerial. They have to create that opening and the opportunity for either the Summoner or the Gunslinger to do the damage output. But it just seems like Thailand, with 200 IQ obviously, is able to find that opening a lot better than Japan.
And I think the 200 IQ comes into the way they time their pedal storms because when we did see the team play come into occasion here for Noonsong Fan Club, the pedal storm was there and the aerial damage is completely negated.
That's what we're looking at. I mean, that game 1 really showed some convincing moments by Thailand. Complete outplay over Japan in multiple moments there. And now we're getting to this game 3. Can we just expect the same with a 2-0 advantage, literally on match point? Just one more win. I can get Thailand up to a very, very good position in this wildcard tournament with Japan. If they lose this one, they're going to be in a lot of struggles trying to get to the next round. But we're going to get to a match point, guys. Can Thailand just finish it off for one more tag, or can Japan really put themselves in the hole here and try to still survive? Game 3 will be very much underway. Well, it could be the last one for Japan. They don't want to go out without at least putting up a fight, because that game 1 was a pretty just daunting effort by them, but the result of it was that it was going to be a 3-0 nonetheless in the end. So game 3 for Japan, it is their last chance to really get themselves in a better position. If they lose this one, it's going to be a tough struggle for these guys for the rest of the tournament.
But that was really, really good, already forcing out that time distortion on both sides. It's going to be Radapon who should be able to heal back up, but as I say that, look at Satoshi. He's been so good managing to find those opportunities to get in the pretty much all the unload damage overall.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, we were talking about how they had to create the opportunities for the Summoner or the Gunslinger, but right now on the field, as the openers, they're just finding their own opportunities. And here we go. They are trading back and forth. Satoshi taking the brunt of the damage here.
Almost ticking down, but he will be forced to tag out. And already, this is the big problem if you're Noonsong Fan Club. If you lose so early, Gunslingers struggle with sustain, with healing back up. And if you're down already, it's going to be tough. But Radapon going super low.
Satoshi coming in for the interfere. We know what that means. And you talk about Satoshi having a tough time. He does lose a little bit of health during that interfere engage, but otherwise, it's definitely going to be super happy with that first kill that came through.
Yeah, they definitely knew when to come in, and this time around, they are taking a little bit more damage now continually. But like you said, Satoshi, he definitely knew the timing when to come in.
And at this point, it's going to be looking really good. But remember, it's not going to be just over. If Satoshi tags in with an assist and is a little bit too greedy, he could get caught off guard, and that could swing things back in favor of 200 IQ. But considering their resources, considering the man disadvantage, this is not looking good right now.
That just means that the discipline is needed by the Japanese team at the moment. Noonsan Fan Club with 3 members alive. Getting the summoner out is absolutely huge because they know that's the main damage output for the Thai side. So coming to this first 2 minutes of the game, getting the first KO, Tetsuki Mizuno, also now Yuki, are going to be very, very patient to go for the right plays only at the right time.
Yeah, Satoshi comes in once again very low, but good thing that he didn't take any damage. You know, I was thinking if the Warlock does create an opportunity on the side of Noonsan Fan Club, you know, now Yuki, the Blade Dancer, could just come in and reascend. But this time around, it's the Warlock on the side of Japan who is in the air.
Oh, with the time distortion, it's going to create quite a bit of opportunity here for 200 IQ to perhaps land a kill, but it's not really going to happen to Tuki now. Finally, perhaps going in after that Bastion times out. Both of them having Leech available, 14 seconds left. Tuki's going to be forced out, and it's Satoshi that's in.
Good
that could have
aerial.
been a really big point here, but it's not really going to happen. Instead, Satoshi will manage to stay alive.
You see, I can see it trying to go very, very aggressive, trying to get this kill onto the gunslinger. That will be huge for Thais, trying to make a recovery here, but otherwise, now Yuki does come back in, really doesn't allow that opportunity to come for Thailand, and it means that Japan once again in a safe zone once again.
It's interesting to see that the dual strike is the iframe variant right now, but I do guess it's more built up around the Warlock, around the Gunslinger instead here for Ekasa. And as a result, he's going to tag out. He knows he has the disadvantageous building out. Ooh, we do see a good tether connect, but does force out the tag out. Tetsuki now in.
Right, well, we'll have to see. A lot of the resources are depleted, and especially on the side of 200 IQ, who Rathapan, we were praising him, but he dies with full resources, 2 tag points and 3 interfere points. You don't want to die with that. At least use a couple before you die. But either way, both sides are very low on resources, except for Tatsuki, who is 2-2 right now, but he is on the field. So let's see if he can create some opportunities for himself. There we go.
Talking about opportunities.
That's it. It might be the second kill that almost comes through, but the tag button is going to be there in time. Ekasith comes back into the field, but literally you are fighting 1v3. You cannot rely on Panya to come in for that interfere. It could be a very dangerous proposition altogether.
This is really good for Noonsan Fan Club. They need to get this win if they are to stay in this match for now, and so far it's looking likely because Ekasith is going to get hit by the Leech. He's going to force to use that reversal, and now without any other opportunities, we might see the reset. They need to land a kill though. If they can actually get something on the board here, this could be it. And can he finish it? No, the lightning draw is not going to be enough.
And he's still not tagging out. He's playing with a lot of fire, no reversal, just block of blades. But I think he just needs to use tag point, and he finally does. Tetsuki comes back in.
Right. Well, Tatsuki is the only one with interferes and attack points, so it makes sense that he's on the field so he can tag out whenever he feels comfortable here. But, you know, there's still 2 minutes and 10 seconds left until that 3-minute mark. So that's a long way to go. And you see that on the side of 200 IQ, Panya has that one interfere. One good aerial from Ekasith. One of them could get eliminated.
And the important thing is here, if they get Tatsuki, that's going to be huge because he has the most HP. He has the resources with the tag outs, with the assist. So looking good right now. Ekasith actually playing out of his mind.
Just really being aggressive in this moment where his team needs it the most. Ekasith really needs to go aggressive here, but does finally get the reversal out of him. So that's going to be a dangerous situation, bringing Panya back out. And in a vulnerable situation like this with so little health, trying to go against Satoshi, see what happens.
Does have the time distortion, or should be rather available. Didn't really like this choice because we would have liked to see him come with an assist for a kill instead, but perhaps with this matchup it's going to play out overall better. One-time distortion expanded on the side of Noonsan Fan Club, so this is going to help Satoshi make sure he perhaps will be able to kill out the Thrall.
All right, now 1 minute and 15 seconds until the 3-minute mark, but Satoshi is definitely still out here by himself for the next minute and 10 seconds until that force tag happens. However, Tatsuki still has that interfere point, whereas 200 IQ, he is all alone. Panya on the field by himself. He has to play it very carefully, and there we go, another leash lands.
Oh, but the Alpha Call rather expanded means that Satoshi should be able to stay safe, but look at that, 50 more seconds and we will see the assist, and slowly but surely, somehow 200 IQ are still staying in the game, and if they land a kill right here, that's going to be potentially enough to secure themselves the series.
It will quite be the Satoshi versus Panya 1v1 scenario because that tag point is not there, and that one interfere point will not come before they go out, but it seems like they want to finish it off. Satoshi almost getting that kill damage, almost there.
Now, with these guys, though, he's going to manage to stay safe. But again, if we do see in return, Panya, landing a bit of good damage is going to be great. However, no other follow-up, and I'm surprised he doesn't use that time distortion. I'm pretty sure he would
there
be
we
able
go.
to-
Oh my goodness!
Oh,
The aerial.
gets the aerial. The kill as well.
He doesn't go for the Thorn, he goes for the Warlock right away. Brilliant decision coming in from Satoshi to go up close and personal. And it's going to be a situation where Satoshi wants to survive, but that lightning draw will probably not even be needed, and it's going to be able to finish him off. And it's going to be a 2v1 scenario in the end. Tatsuki wants to make it his.
Yeah, the 3-minute mark has passed. They do get the interfere points. Unfortunately for 200 IQ, Ekasith is by himself. So he has to pull off this 2v1, which is doable from the way that Ekasith has been playing his Blade Dancer.
I mean, look at this so far. Guardian Temp is going to heal him back up, but not any longer. He's forced to disengage for now. So we did see the time distortion come out, but if he gets a kill, actually, instead it's going to be aggressive play from the other side. The aerial could be good. Is it enough to land the kill? So far, looking likely about 5% to 10%. Even lower. This should be enough. He gets it. Gets the tech chase, gets the kill.
It really is just a convincing victory for the Japanese side. They definitely needed this. Nusan Fan Club finally getting some smiles on the faces here, and you even see Tatsuki Mizuno, Satoshi Sekimoto doing a very good job, even with now Yuki doing a very good job of himself as well. So altogether, this was very, very necessary for the Japanese side if they wanted to make a comeback here. Because it's about really getting that 3 wins. It's not about being satisfied with just 2 wins on the board. You have to get that 3rd win. It means that Japan has to win the rest of these matches here. Set 4, set 5, it has to be theirs.
Exactly, and I don't know about how Naoyuki and Tatsuki felt, but we definitely saw Satoshi's face after that match. He felt enlightened. He figured out what they have to do to beat 200 IQ. We'll see if that could, continue in the next 2 sets.
And that's a good thing for them, right? Because next up it's another tag match, and considering the fact that, as you said, perhaps they finally figured out how they can really deal with them, and it's going to have to most likely be, again, Radapon. If they take him out early, look at the resources. As you can see right now, it's going to be such a tough ask of 200 IQ, but I got to commend, especially Ekasith. He was able to play his hard out.
And we really did see, once Ratapon did go out, without the summoner, Thailand looked quite vulnerable in many situations because they just simply did not have that damage output. When the interfere coming with the Rumblebees would have really finished off a couple key members from Japan, but did not happen. We saw that being such a lacking moment, and maybe in this next tag match, if Ratapon does stay alive, that might give a chance for Thailand to finish this off.
Yeah, definitely, because, like we said, even Bruges, that 2v3, Nusan Fan Club definitely had a hard time. They came out on top at the end of the day, but that was just a 2v3. They got rid of Rathapon early, so it was kind of expected, I guess. It would have been a surprise if they lost a 3v2. It does happen from time to time, but either way, 200 IQ, even that 2v3 gave him a hard time. We'll see what happens in this 3v3 match once again in set 4.
And I'm curious if we're going to see any other adaptation, because in terms of the opener, so far, Summoner, kind of 50-50. I mean, it is 50-50 in this particular match, but we'll see whether or not it's going to pay off.
We are slowly going to see who's going to make the appearance once again for this tag match. We know that the composition will probably not change from the last one, and we never thought it was a composition problem. It was more about Ratapon staying alive to the end and being the first man going out. We know that's a huge loss for the Thailand side. They just could not recover from that. So another try here after they lost the previous one just now, and coming to this game 4 once again in a tag match. I'm sure Thailand has a different mission in mind.
They definitely do, and you never know until the matches begin, because we never thought Nunsang Fan Club was able to get rid of Rathapon so early in this 3rd match, because it did not happen in the 1st match, and now we're getting slowly ready to go into our 4th match. We'll see if they'll be able to repeat the same performance from set 3, or if Thailand has adapted as well.
Thailand still at match point. They very well could finish off the series if they win this next one, but Japan doesn't want to make that happen. They want to extend it to game number 5. See if they can do that in this game number 4. As you can see, once again, Ratapon is going to be the one to start us off with the damage output that it can produce. We know it's very understandable, but Satoshi, very successful in the last round. Can he repeat that process here?
And I mean, I guess the Pedal Stone being the MVP the first tag, having that be a problem right now for 200 IQ, because if the summoner's in the aerial, there's no other Petal Storm for you, buddy. So we'll see if that is going to be, again, the problem here for 200 IQ, because so far it's looking pretty good. Forcing out an Alpha Call Tombstone was already committed as well.
Yeah, we'll see how Satoshi will react to this. There is that interfere coming in from Tatsuki. Wrathupon trying to endure this by himself. He's not calling out for help. He is invis right now. And he does get rid of one interfere by himself, but he is in the air.
And now with the Maelstrom coming in, 5-1 Strong is looking to chase Satoshi down, but so far looking pretty good for the side of 200 IQ as they get the aerial. The damage from the Rumblebees is going to be there, but somewhat of a late assist here from Nayuki.
And Satoshi looked a little bit vulnerable just for a moment, but it's going to get recovered back in time. And Cat is constantly bothering him, and you can see that. And Wrathupon trying to make the best use out of that. Once again, another interfere coming through with the time distortion. That's going to give the reset from the Warlock from Panya. So Wrathupon has another go here. If he fails to get decent damage here, this is going to be a situation where he can definitely will regret.
Yeah, and you know, in the early games of tags, we're not used to seeing many aerials actually connect into a kill because of all the interfere points that they still have and the tag points that they're able to use. But right now, Satoshi did take a lot of damage here. 10 seconds left until both sides tag out.
Very nicely done too. Even with the Sanctum, they did manage to get quite a bit of damage in, but 2 more seconds and they're going to be out.
We'll see what happens here. No chase will be happening here.
Looking at Naoyuki, that did get tagged in. Of course, with Panya, that got tagged in also. Both of them 3 tags that from their respective sides, and we finally see the leech that lit land, but it did not lead to a continuation damage from the Warlock. But Panya, after he was just most of a supportive unit in the first 2 renditions of these tag matches, the third one, he wants to make a big damage here. See if he can do that.
It's interesting to see what kind of build he's running too with those shackles, but now looking with Satoshi coming into play again when it's not Wrathupon in play with those Petal Storms. It's just going to deny Satoshi time and time again.
Well, it seems like both teams have been adapting and getting used to each other because it's pretty even on the resource points. And, you know, health-wise, Satoshi does have a little bit of his health bar missing, but it's fairly close right now compared to our set 1 and set 3 tag matches here.
You can definitely see that Panya just trying to catch up to the movement that Naoyuki's throwing at. Satoshi going for all the damage from that interfere. We know that can be crucial when done correctly, and does knock off just about 60% of his health there from Panya.
And at this point, it's going to be a big advantage potentially for them. This is the type of thing they were looking for because, as you guys said, Satoshi did lose quite a bit of HP, but now 200 IQ perhaps in a bit of a tougher spot. But once they do have Wrathupon back in play, we will see them perhaps climb their way back into that advantage.
Yeah, and you know, like we always remember, the early games, you won't see any eliminations, and another 10 seconds for the force tag for both sides. Will Panya be able to stay alive right now? Yes, he probably will. He has that escape. But we'll see if any chases happen.
Yeah, the big burst of damage coming in from Satoshi a little bit earlier in that game, but otherwise, nothing really to write home about. And it's been about pretty even matchups for both these teams, and no significant damage coming quite yet.
Well, that was a very nice catch off out of the Sanctum, but the assist coming in from the side of the Luton Fan Club, their team play this time around being the most effective thing. But Ekasif now coming into play here, 200 IQ, still looking for more.
All right, we'll see how Ekasith will pull this through because we know that he's been the guy within the spotlight that's pulling the strings for his teammates, and he has to create that opportunity for Wrathupon, but he does tag out here.
And we know that when Wrathupon does come out, that's a go sign for the Japanese side, for Noonsan Fan Club to try to get that KO as soon as they can. As soon as they get the summoner out, that's going to be a much easier game for the Japanese side. So with Wrathupon on the field, he's going to be out for at least 1 minute unless he uses a tag out, but you do want to make sure you get the most advantage that you can right here.
But this is kind of dangerous for Noonsung right now because we did see Satoshi with his last assist come in with the Alpha Call. That's a higher cooldown, but does reset that time distortion now as well, so he's not going to be able to play as aggressive as he perhaps might like, and as a result, now it's still such an HP advantage on the side of 200Q. It's going to be good, but no Maelstrom makes it a bit more dangerous for Wrathupon.
We do see Satoshi coming back out to the field, see what he can make out of it. Forces out an attack point from Wrathupon, and Ekasith goes up in the air, but does get protected by Wrathupon, who just went out. Has to come back in on the interfere, finally able to, I hope Ekasith just a little bit on the defensive end.
Well, we do see all the resources slowly depleting now after we pass the 5-minute mark of the 10 minutes here. Slowly we'll probably get a good aerial, maybe even a kill or close to a kill, and when we start running out of tag points, that's when the real fight starts. But right now, it still seems pretty even right now. Nobody is very critical in health-wise, and they're just going back and forth, trading escapes, trading tags. But this time around, Ekasith is in the air, taking damage from Satoshi by himself.
Oh, the patience here coming out of 200 IQ, but they need to punish Satoshi right now because they did have that assist. So that is really big for Noonsound Fan Club, because that was the one thing they have to be careful about, because no assists are available for both teams now.
Satoshi just definitely did a hit and run. He hit and then he tagged out.
Hey, you know what it is though? You know, it is a different approach from both teams. This time around, it's not about early KOs onto any significant member. We might just go to that TKO for the very first time here. A lightning draw coming through from Ekasith. That's going to be dealing a little bit of damage to it now. You can nothing crucial to really write home about, but all the while, we all look at this phase, the banner here, all these little damage that are coming through, it's not going to be enough to get the knockout they need.
Patient play from both sides, not wanting to overcommit tags out on both ends. Blade answers though, look at that, we do see only one tag out left for every member on the board for Noonsound, whereas on the other side, Ekasith, if he comes back in, that's going to be it.
Yeah, he has no more tags, so they're probably going to keep him out until 25 seconds where he could interfere in and maybe try to create, you know, maybe a kill or two. But everybody will get their interfere points back, and this is the first time that we see both sides being alive at the 3-minute mark.
Sugi Mizuno, we know how he wants to play against a summoner, having been a summoner main himself. See what he wants to do though. Ratsupon's still very much at full health. Trying to do damage towards Satsuki, forces out the tag. Gonna bring Satoshi back in, and this might be the chance for Ty to really strike here.
But the assists are being awarded on rather across the board, and as a result, this is where things might start looking scarier and scarier for the side of Noonsound Fan Club, because on the other side, when Ratapon is still in such good control over the matchup, it's gonna be down to whether or not Satoshi can again be the MVP for Japan.
We'll have to see if Satoshi or even Ratapon could pull off a great deal of damage to force out a couple of interferes, because like we said, everybody got it. Now they have to bait out the interferes. They have to endure it without being killed and then create another opportunity to actually secure a kill.
Considering how much damage the summoner was able to do, I'm not even sure if during timeout it's gonna be that one-sided. But look at that, the familiar actually might get taken out. If he gets to take him out,
Wow.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
That is
Four more seconds though. That means that Ratapon will find much safety. That will go out in the end, but all the more, Panya is going to be back out to the field. But as we're reaching the 2-minute mark, guys, we're going to probably get into a TKO. No KOs quite yet. Might just get to the damage chart to decide the winner. But for the meantime, it seems like Japan is on the lead.
And at this point, especially since we did see pretty much Satoshi take out so many of those familiars overalls, the extra damage overall on the board should favor them, as you said. But now, a little bit of a stalemate, a little bit of standoff. 1 minute 35 seconds, and we do have to see 200 IQ keep their composure, but they are the ones who have to be on the offensive.
All right, well, at the 1 minute mark, we also get another interfere point back. So, you know, you had to bait out those interferes at the 3 minute mark early if you wanted to go for a kill, because in 18 seconds, we're going to get another set of interfere points for all 6 players. So that's going to start another bait, and that's not going to be enough time to get a 3 elimination win. So we're probably going to be a TKO, but this time around, Tatsuki comes in and takes a lot of damage now.
So you can talk about that 1 minute mark where everybody does get that one more interfere points back. It's not going to be about getting 3 knockouts ending life, but we're all going to see these teams trying to go for as much damage as they can. This is an example right here. Ratsupon's taking a lot of damage.
Ooh, but the return damage is going to be better. The aerial to launch will secure the kill, and Tatsuki is out. And now we need to see them press their advantage. They have 42 seconds. If they don't get the kills, if it goes to timeout, it might just still go to Japan.
Yeah, and you know, you can't forget the summoners heals, because on the side of Japan, yes, they do heal. The Blade Dancer heals, and you know, everybody heals a little bit, but they have a Blade Dancer and a Warlock on the side of 200 IQ as well. And this time, another aerial damage coming out. You know, they had to do as much damage out, but 20 seconds left.
Thailand, we're getting very, very close in terms of evening out in damage, getting 1 knockout and getting some kills and some damage going towards Satoshi. It's going to be huge towards Thailand. Can we get more and more here? Ekasith really looking for the right build-up. Ratapon does have that one interfere, and he wants to use the lightning draw. Coming in! Oh my goodness!
Beautiful tech chase executed by Ekasev, who might be the MVP, but it's
Is
still
that
going to go
it?
to timeout. It's still not over yet. This could still very well go to Noonsong Fan Club. Damage has been dealt, especially coming in from Satoshi.
Oh man, this
I would be
is a very
surprised.
close one. This is a very
The
close
second
one.
kill, I think, because
Oh!
That's it, yeah.
Second
And
kill
we
secured
thought that was enough, and 40,000 damage is going to be the difference here. Thailand does finish off the series preemptively, and we're not going to get a set 5 because 200 IQ representing Thailand will beat out Japan's Noonsong Fan Club and advance to the next round.
Exactly, and you know, in situations like this, I wish they show the damage chart all the way till the end. Actually, we do see it on our screen, and I think that second kill just secured enough damage. If they were unable to land that second kill and he was alive maybe with like 30-40% health, it would have gone to Noonsong Fan Club in the TKOs.
Especially since that was pretty much his whole HP bar that was taken out. And as a result, I gotta again commend not only the side of Radapon and Panya, but I think Ekasev has played really, really well here.
And really, Ekasev coming in with all these clutch plays in the area, trying to provide the shots from Ratapon to come in for that interview with easy damage. When your teammate does all that setup for you, it makes it so easy as a summoner to put out the damage, and that was the 40,000 difference in the end, and that became the crucial point for Thailand to pick up this victory.
And now that we will see them advance, they're going to be looking to sit healthy with an early lead, and Japan now knocked down into the losers bracket, something that I think nobody really expected.
Exactly, you know, Japan has been one of the stronger teams like we mentioned before. But wow, Thailand, 200 IQ, they are definitely something because this is their first day on the broadcast. They've been playing yesterday, but it seems like they've been practicing, they've been building up, and they've been adapting, and you know, very well played on them.
This is our first look at Thailand and their representation in this World Championship 2018, but very good representation indeed. As they're going to move on to the next round, we'll get to see them later in the series, but for the meantime, we are going to get to that other half of that wild card in the match 2 that's going to be coming up after a short break, so don't go anywhere.
수비가 안 되면 이거 경기가 완전히 일반적으로 마무리될 수 있어요.
오늘 막심이 굉장히 보고 싶거든요. 막심 반피.
자,
공수
여기서
입에 폭발합니다.
탈기.
막심. 너무 심하게 나가는데.
또 띄우고.
빠르기. 막심 일어나. 일어나 막심. 아무도 못 보여줘요.
추가 캐치됐어요. 또 탈기. 뛰고.
엎치기. 네. 막심 강참. 한 명이 데리고 가야죠.
빨리
싸움이라면 나도 지지 않겠다라는 의지. 시간이 굴러가면서 마구 달려들죠.
한번더 노려보니까 그냥 빠질 수밖에 없는 탈기 살피고 뛰고.
맞짱대결입니다. 네. 태그는 핑계거리가 있는데 이건 없어요.
엄청 떨립니다 저는 개인적으로. 피해량을 노리면서 야금야금 포인트 벌고 빠지는 암살자가 끝까지 침착하게 하느냐, 아니면 그 와중에도 최소한으로 피해를 줄이면서 역사가 같이 따라붙느냐, 이 싸움이거든요.
기본적으로 말씀해주신 대로 암살이 좋아요. 상성상으로는. 그런데 현역으로 얼마나 또 오래 뛰고 있었느냐의 차이는 분명히 있고요. 우와. 전에 데미지 넣어놓고
네.
이거
공격의 주도권을 쥐고 있는 암살자를 상대로 과연 얼마나 할 수 있을까?
하나 써. 이거 데미지 들어가요. 이거 데미지 들어가요. 이거 데미지 들어가요.
포인트 포인트 충분히 벌었으니까
네.
이제는 암살자가 훨씬 마음이 편하죠.
아 이거 진짜 자존심 싸움인데 큰일 났습니다. 부산 동갑내기 친구들 간의 대결이거든요 이거.
네, 아나님들 이거 침착치 않다.
반짝반짝 타들어 갑니다 지금.
야, 왜 이러나? 왜
시나리오를
이러노? 네.
시나리오를 비비님도 아시니까 컷컷이 넘어갑니다 이거.
암살자 탈출기도 금방 돌아오기 때문에
네.
무리하지 않고 둔주에서 사용합니다.
네. 아 최성진도 지금 죽는 타이밍은 아니라 좀 더 본격적으로 하고 싶은데.
그렇긴 한데 탈출기를 좀 뻔한 타이밍에
네.
급히 쓸 수밖에 없다라는 게 결국은 약점이에요.
네.
마음 급하죠, 마음 급하죠.
한 번만
도끼질!
써라.
맞을 만큼 맞고.
아 일부러
상대
버텨요.
빼고.
네 일부러
이제
버텨요.
탈출기 고려해야죠.
네.
이제 쓰죠, 이제 쓰죠.
이제 걸리면 박진유도 한 방입니다.
오히려 암살자가 지금 탈출기가 없고 역사가
네.
하나 남아있기 때문에
그렇죠, 그렇죠.
지금 시간이 벌지 않아요?
네. 사실은 둔주가 한 10여 초 정도 남아서 저도 개인적으로는 근데 구석으로
둔주 못 갈았어요. 둔주 못 갈았어요.
둔주 없어요.
끝까지 침착하게 따라붙자. 얼마나 기쁘면.
пинком и подброс от Пэта. Минус ПМ. Дестер против. И подброс по Дестру.
Вот он.
1%. 4-4. Тайминг
Вот сейчас
кувырка
опасно.
и КФМу опасно. Очень опасно. Таб эскейпа нет. И 19% хп. Цитан очень агрессивно нападает и подбрасывает Ватера. КФМ должен
нет.
выйти. И минус Ватер буквально сразу. И Риншу опрокинут. Риншу затаймили на кувырке и
О.
добивают. Цитан все еще против Пауэрстурба. И Пауэрстурба
Вот
нельзя
сейчас
терять
пережить.
ХП. Против Ганнера не играет через 2 эскейпа. И вот он без эскейпов попадает в контроль. И только это и нужно было Цитану. И он просто в ноль разносит противника. Трудно было Пауэрстурба. Но вот он подброс и осы. Осы летят. Осы залетели, Пауэрстурбом погиб. И у КГ нет ни клинков ливня, ни таб эскейпа.
Да.
И Котовод добивает счет 2-2. Нет, эта ульта не попадает по мастеру призыва. Семен в подбросе погибает. Произошло, Циклопента не в выигрышной ситуации. Попадает в каштаны. Сейчас опасно. Очень много урона наносится 1-0%.
체형운으로 돌아갈 여유조차도 없을 거예요.
시작입니다.
시작하자마자 선녀 여기 캐치.
치열하게 싸우는데
네.
이런 식으로 흘러갔을 경우에는
오.
경계가 있는 격사가 상황이 좋거든요.
자 일단 저한테 돌리고 하늘로 갔죠. 시간 벌어야 되거든. 오.
무영보로 공중에 있을 때 찍어버렸습니다.
이제는 잠깐 전병은 타이밍. 시간만 조금 벌어주고 선유태도 좀 생각을 해봐야 되는
경계
시간이에요.
끝나고부터 공격이 들어가야
지금이거든요.
되는데
네.
들어갔어요.
봐야 돼요.
시간 충분하거든요.
얼마나? 자, 5초.
최소 80%
4초.
이상 뺄 수 있을 것 같은데요.
2초.
이거 연기기.
1초. 자, 거리. 우와! 손유태 거리. 지금은 순간적으로 거리를 뒤쪽으로 빠져주면서 오히려 그 다음에 드리블까지 생각했었던 손유태의 노련함이었었고요.
흔히 미터 플레이라고 하죠.
네.
공격할 것처럼 근처에서 얼쩡얼쩡거리면 탈출기 쓰기도 안 쓰기도 애매해요.
이러면 둔주 꼽을 거예요. 둔주 꼽았죠? 꼽고나 들어갑니다.
마무리.
지금 타이밍은
버틸 수 있나요?
손유태! 지금 이번 세트는 200% 손유태이기 모든 암살이 꿈꾸는 플레이가 지금 나왔어요.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Blade&Soul World Championship. We're here for the wild card event. We got the first series out of the way. We went with Japan and Thailand, and kind of expected that Japan would come up on top, having a lot more information on these guys and having much less on Thailand. But to our surprise, a 3-1 victory with Thailand over Japan. So a lot of surprises here already in this first series of the wild cards, and we can expect a lot more with this next one coming up.
Especially since it's a mirror matchup when it comes to the class choices. It is going to be Team Pengandi versus Bad Intentions. Bad Intentions, my boys, I talked about them a lot. I've talked about them plenty, but versus Pengandi yesterday, we saw them play, but unfortunately for them, it was versus Team Russia, and they just got destroyed.
You know, it was a very unfortunate situation and a matchup, but, you know, who can blame anybody? You know, it's just a bracket and everybody, and they still are in this game. They're not eliminated, and even if the loser of the first match as well as this next matchup, Pengandi versus Bad Intentions, it is double elimination like we mentioned. So even if they lose, they do have another chance to kind of stand back up. So it won't matter too much, but obviously you want to win and then win again to go just all the way straight to the finals of this wildcard selection matchup rather than losing and playing again and again before you know your chances of winning and going to the semifinals dwindle.
And they are the two teams that are really hungry for this win right now, because all together they worked really hard to get to this wild card. Pengandi, even after losing that first one to Russia, literally 5-0,
Yeah.
and we knew they had a tough road coming for them, but being able to win out in that second match, which got them to this point in this wild card. And you remember EU, they had their own problems, talking about Bad Intentions in a tough lineup of Group A, talking about Japan and Korea in that same group, almost beating out Japan for that second place matchup, but did not get in. They had to go all the way down to the third place brackets and really worked really hard and to get to the stage right now. So both of these teams really wanting to win that now, because their tough journey has been really thorough, and now they really want to get the win.
Yeah, you know, they both, like you said, had their tough journey, their own way of having a hardship to make it up here. And once again, this is not the semifinals yet. They had enough hard times, but they have to go through a little bit more obstacles and run over a little bit more hurdles until they can make it into the semifinals. We'll see how these two teams have prepared, because we know that they had a very long day yesterday, and they have a very long day ahead of them today.
But one of the things we were talking about with Bad Intentions in particular is the fact that they can really be a streaky team. If they're on the up and up, if they're playing well and they're in a good spot in terms of the mental state of things and state of mind, then they're going to be strong. But they need to keep up that momentum, and perhaps since they kind of have to run the gauntlet if they are to make it into semis, that's going to make it a snowball effect all the way through.
Yeah, it can be a snowball effect either way. In a positive way, if they get a good run going, that will boost them up to do even better on those next matches coming up. But in case this one doesn't go well for them and Pengandi shows up against the European side, they have to make sure they control that mentality within them to make sure they're able to find the stability, to make sure they can run through each of the games, and that will be surely an important thing, because we all know the talent is there between Bad Intention with Tenna, Ryuki, and also Colorize. Big shout out to him from his yesterday's performance. So altogether, I think they have the talents. I think they have what it takes to get to the semifinals, be the best team out of the four right now. But remember that you said you do have to talk about the mentality status. That's not always so stable with this team. So we'll see what happens from them in this next game.
Yeah, and you know, Bruins mentions about that snowball happening, the snowball effect, and you know, I think this refers to all four teams, depending on their situation, depending on their mood and everything else around them, the environment and everything. But that snowball effect, will it be the small head of the snowman, or will it be the body? That is what, you know, it's going to matter. And right now, from the first match, 200 IQ carried the body, and Japan had the small head, and they ended up getting bashed on with the body. So we'll see what happens with Pengandi and Bad Intentions.
You know, small head sometimes looks visually attracting, but it's definitely not helpful in Blade&Soul, as we saw in the past. And the Japanese side, they really thought they were the head of the tournament, and they really didn't count out when the body outweighs the head every single time. And Thailand showed what is up, and that just means that other teams that really should be on the lookout for, especially with Europe, they really think they have a good chance in this wildcard to make it to the next matchup, but they can't put Taiwan down at this point. They have to take every opponent seriously.
Oh, for sure. That's going to be a tough one, because they're going to start things off with that tag match, and this, again, will dictate the pace of the set and of the match.
All right, we will get into Team Pengandi. We've seen them yesterday. They did, unfortunately, like you mentioned, get dominated against Russia. However, this is another team to look out for, because they have the experience, they have the skills, and a 5-0 loss hit them pretty hard. However, they are still in the game, double eliminations.
And we still have to remember that Pengani, this was the team exact roster from 2017 that made it all the way to the semifinals of the 2017 World Championship. So, Lin Xiang, Xu Xingcheng, along with Tang Hongxue, we remember these guys very well, being very adept in trying to just make sure they are ready for these tournaments to come in. Here's another one for them, and really off the bat start, obviously, but eating out happy from North America is the reason why they came in as second place of their group. So going into today, it's going to be representing Taiwan in the best of way, but there's going to be their next opponent, another Western team we're going to see with bad intentions.
Of course, bad intentions. The Titans coming out of Europe, the standard for the European scene. It's going to be, of course, on their side. Tenna or Daniel on that Warlock, Ryuki or Isaac on the Assassin most likely, and Nicholas, of course, finally on that Destroyer. Summoner still highlighted, still a hope, not going to happen though.
It seems like Tenna, Ryuki, and Colorize, they're here to play with their typical compositions, and we know what to expect out of them. When we get the best out of these guys, they do look quite good, but when the bad intentions really creep up on them, we also know what happens on the other end as well.
Yeah, and we definitely saw some of the potential from bad intentions with Ryuki doing the close shave, and we saw Colorize interfere in at the perfect moment to do that execute damage. Same thing goes for Tenna when he does that aerial. You know, he doesn't even need assist. He doesn't even need interferes. If he gets one great aerial when the opponent does not have any interferes, great damage coming out from the Warlock.
And I think that's also due to the fact that in the current patch, having that extra damage off of the Helix it just suits and caters to Tenna's playstyle to really come in as the team captain and lead the charge.
Exactly, and we'll see if, you know, bad intentions will be able to create those opportunities, but just keep in mind, Pengandi has the same composition. They can hit them with the same, you know, interferes, same execute, same close shave, same helix damages. So, you know, we'll see which team is able to find that small opening when we have this mirror match.
Who's gonna get that Destroyer and the Assassin combo damage we've seen so successful for bad intentions for them to get to this stage in the first place. And now we're looking at Tenna in big smiles. I think he's very ready to get into this match number one. And for him, it's going to be a very important one. Didn't make too much of a standing in last year's Worlds and came back into 2018 with Ryuki's same teammate as last year, and really wants to make a big statement. I know you all know all about that one.
Oh yeah, and I think it's going to be, or rather, I'm going to be looking out for how Ryuki performs, because he was very unhappy with his performance yesterday, especially when it came down to it with the Sin Mirror matchup. And if it's going to come up again today, I really want to see whether or not he's going to play up to expectations, or if he's going to have a repeat performance of yesterday.
Yeah, we'll have to see how they are feeling. Like we were talking about, you know, bad intentions. They are good. They have the skills. They have the experience, but they also have their big ups and downs. So let's see if their arrow is pointing up today or they're pointing down, because they definitely needed to point up today to make it out of this wild cards to go to the semis.
I mean, whose arrows are going to be pointing up? I think we're going to see Chinese Taipei with Pengandi representing them for 2 years in a row. They did them justice last year in 2017, but 2018, not much to show so far. So we are taking that time to make sure we are ready to get into game number one, and should be very, very interesting how the game will unfold. We'll start to get an idea as the first game will very much be underway between Europe and Chinese Taipei. Can Taiwan get the first game lead here, or will Europe start to make a good run for themselves? We're going to find out in this game number one. And with the cheers coming from the crowds, you see our Korean fans cheering for these two different sides. They have all seen them last year. Bad Intentions was here last year along with Pengandi. So garnering a few of these fans from Korea, and they do get the support here, and we're getting underway for this first game.
So far not able to snipe him out. It's going to be Isaac or rather Ryuki getting caught off potentially, but now, of course, here's that stealth. It's going to be very problematic for him looking up forward, but it's going to come down to those assists. Who's going to pull the trigger first? Who's going to get that bigger advantage?
Assassin.
Yeah, there's a lot of Assassin users that even if you're out of stealth, they go aggressive, and this is it right now.
Oh, the execute damage, that was very huge coming from Tong Shi, but he takes a lot of damage himself, so that's an important revenge tactic coming in from the Assassin from Fernandez.
And that's the important thing here. We're talking about whether or not Bad Intentions is really going to up their team play. And so far, it seems like that is the case. However, now Witness is pumped in on both sides. Time distortion should be the case. And there we go. A mirror matchup to the end. This is going to be on both sides, full resets.
Yeah, that was very good actually on the side of Bad Intentions, because with that interfere coming in, Colorize did the damage onto Tengang-Shi, who came in with the interfere. But now they're trading stealth back and forth, but this time around, Chushin Sang has that Lotus of Escape advantage. We'll see if he'll make that move onto Ryuki.
Still very much on their foot here and trying to make sure they can withstand these last 20 seconds. That will be good for both of these teams to get this freeze tag out. Of course, pretty good trade of damage onto both sides so far, but nothing to really significant as to really getting the first knockout of the game. So we're probably going to see a free tag here. We're going to see what that leads on to in this next round.
Well, so far though, we'll see the assist, the execute again come in. However, this time it's going to be Ryuki taking quite a bit of damage, but look at the HP bars on the other members of Pengandi. They drop pretty low, but now with the Warlocks on both sides, Cantena build up that advantage. We should have Voidwalk out of the question at the very least for the side of Pengandi.
All right, so this is the mirror match. Both of them put the Sanctum down. However, like you said, Pengandi is out of Voidwalk, and another aerial created by Tena.
Oh, especially now coming in from Ryuki, we see how effective they can really beat those two together with the fighting spirit, with that buffs on the other side. They answered with one of their own, but it wasn't quite effective enough. And as a result, especially now with the leech, could be very dangerous. However, can he land the kill? The iron plating coming in the nick of time here.
Oh, it's gonna the execute damage was almost crucial to getting up Tena, and Tena was very thankful that he did not die off of that one, and it's gonna bring Ryuki back in, but Tena definitely breathes to live another day, and that's a very, very big plus for the side of Bad Intentions.
That was a cheesy move on the side of Tengang-Shu. 2 seconds left until that interfered before he went in.
Oh my gosh! Talk about cheeky!
Oh, Bad Intentions. This is the streaky good team we were expecting to see. Very nicely done. That has been the combo that really sealed the deal for them time and time again in the European region. And now looking for Tennessee, what he can do versus this Destroyer. So far, 3 versus team man advantage is really good, but the Destroyer can be very problematic for the Warlock.
The Fury does come back in time. Tong-Shu can use this to get the damage in, and seems like Tena has to be on his feet here, just trying to be focusing, trying to not take the damage. The Fury does proc, but it's not going to lead to any damage.
Fury and the execute is negated by the paper in front of Tena's face, and you know that is good news for the side of Bad Intentions.
Oh, interesting. Actually going in for the Ice Mine here for Pengandi, but we did see the time distortion come through, and as a result, Tena will have all his different cooldowns available at the very least for the defensive side, but it's going to be enough because the passive damage, the neutral damage, has been pretty good. Lotus of Escape is still available for the side of Pengandi, but as he does manage to connect, Tena still keeping his second win, fall back up. Things are not going to be looking good for Taipei.
45 seconds more that Tena has to stay out if he wants to get a free tag in, but otherwise, a pretty good success coming from Bad Intentions already. Getting that kill onto Lin Xiang a little bit early in this instance, and still keeping it pretty safe at 3-2 endeavor. And it's still ongoing here, but Tena getting lower and lower in terms of HP.
Yep, he is staying in the fight still.
Oh my
gosh, this is why he's staying in the fight. I was gonna say he should tag out sooner or later. There he goes. He does the damage output and then tags out safely into Colorized, who is at full HP.
The Typhoon could have been disastrous there for Pengandi, but luckily enough, we did see Xiu go out of there in the nick of time. And now, look at that, he still has Fury. That's going to be a big problem here unless he times it perfectly.
Remember, Tengang-Shu is the guy who kept his Fury build throughout the whole fight against Russia. He did not seem to want to change it, and this time around he's doing that again. We'll see if Colorize will actually punish him for that.
It seems that Tena came in trying to go for all that damage in the end and gets the knockdown, but it's not going to lead to any further damage.
Aerial.
That does get in the shackles, and it's going to pummel him right back down. So this is going to be the Fury build, probably going to be in effect very soon by Tong-Shu, but still doesn't proc it.
He needs to time it perfectly though, as persistence
there
was
we go.
Pop Fury in the return, and it's gonna be Colorize coming out on top because he has the HP, he has the Gust available too, but does he have any fall? Yes, he gets the stun. However, this will prompt the assist from the Assassin Typhoon. Well timed.
Sushing Shang just coming in the nick of time just to make sure the damage comes in. The execute attempted does not lead to any damage, and Rookie comes in a pretty low health bar, and see what Tonglishu can do. Still nothing coming from the Destroyer.
Oh, but the assist
There we
from
go.
Tenna, who's going to prompt that stealth already from the side of Pengan D, and as a result, as long as he gets another good follow-up, that will be enough potentially, but it's going to be actually Colorize coming back in. Oh, doesn't get the connection, gets it
Oh,
in the
the
smash! Ooh, so low, but not quite enough.
It's funny. Well, it's not funny. It's amazing to see Colorize, play so aggressive when he didn't have guts or persistence, but he's actually landing those CCs. He's landing the smash, and he's poking him down. Sushi Shang definitely in a pinch right now. He does have that one tag, but he has to use it early before that 5% health just disappears.
And that's what it is. I mean, you want to just make sure you're safe, but you at the same time, you want to risk yourself at this key moment, just trying to get big advantages with the risk on the line. But Sushing Shang not opting to tag out quite yet, trying to go for all the damage he can towards his Destroyer. And Parkinson, Colorize having a tough time here already.
We'll see whether or not now with Persistence and Gust going to be good, because look at that, the timer is slowly dwindling down. So with 20 seconds left, we might see something good happen here for Pengadi, but so far, the follow-up, the chase is not going to be quite there for Colorize, and as a result now, we'll see whether or not he can still find an avenue. As said, he has both of those defensive, so as long as he gets a daze or something or another, will be good enough, but Persistence will be used.
Good effort coming in for Sushing Shang, trying to go for all the damage. And stealth has been used, so a bit awkward in terms of getting away from that tab escape, but otherwise, that's going to be his last resort. He might just have to tag out here. This might be his Q time, but 10 more seconds if he can survive through this one. That's a free tag and should be very, very valuable for Pengan D.
Yeah, it definitely is a valuable save on the resource, but he is very low, and there we go. 2 more seconds. Will he get chased? Tengang Shu will be coming in. There we go. Comes in safely.
Yeah.
No chase happening, but like we said, Sushin Sang living with that tag and the interfere.
Okay, the execute was very cheeky there, trying to get the damage as soon as the next player was coming in. Rookie doesn't take most of that damage, and the smash does seem like it was going to come through, but Tong Shu still looking for that key damage that's very much needed. Sushi Chang does have the interfere.
Oh, ground game Rookie. I don't know what's up with that in the tournament so far, but we'll see whether or not it's still going to be an opening here for Rookie. Because remember, with Fury being the go-to build every time seemingly here for Pengan D, if he uses the Gust, it's going to come down to the Assassin to save the Destroyer.
We'll see if that will happen, because now the Gust is up and he's just waiting for that Fury to come back. He's buying time. I don't know if Ryuki knows this, but there we go with the Typhoon. He's buying time, and Fury will be coming back very soon. Procs it right away.
Now the follow-up is not going to be quite there, and as a result, even with the potential Gust expended, it's going to be enough. The Execute is going to dodge the aerial. It's going to prompt the assist, but is it going to still be enough? Because in the end, the Execute from the other side is going to be able to chunk down the Destroyer to about 25% HP. So now, Ryuki, the cash is there, the kill is there, and one final member left for Pengandi.
It is as if Colorize was coming in on interfere to show Tong Shu how to use an execute. Just so successful there once again. It seems like Su Cheng is on a dead man's end and really has no hope going for this 1v3.
Yeah, they are trading their stealth, and they did. He did land that landmine, and now finally the Lotus of Escape has been traded. Now both of them are out of escapes. However, Ryuki will be force tagged out in 7 seconds, and another execute coming in.
But in the smoke bomb, is it going to be still enough for the savior? Oh, he actually gets out of it. Somehow 1% HP. The hero for Pengandi is not going to be there.
That's all it really accounts to, that poison breath with the bleed out in the end. Overtime was going to be enough damage for Bad Intentions to grab this game number 1. You really need to carry on this momentum and try to win as many games as they can. If they can finish this in 3 sets, I know Tenna and the team is going to be very, very satisfied with that one. But with Taiwan, the woes still continue as we see them once again drop another set. They only were able to beat out North America 3-2. Not the strongest opposition in the world, but this time against EU, finding difficulty this first set.
Yeah, you know, I don't want to constantly point the same thing out over and over, but I have to, because Pengang Shu on the Destroyer, he is something. He doesn't want to give up the Fury, and you know,
Stubborn?
It's very stubborn, but you know, he hasn't landed a single Fury execute yet.
Wow.
He hasn't. And you know, I know he's waiting for that, because the Fury execute is gonna be tremendous damage coming, but we have yet to see it.
And you did see as well on the camera with Teta, he wasn't too satisfied with the win. Still, he knew that he kind of wasted some of those interferes, and it should have been over way sooner than it was, and way closer than it could have been or should have been in their case. So we'll see whether or not now going into this next 1v1, I'm really curious to see who both of these teams are going to send out.
Well, we know the mirrors, and we know most of these, well, probably almost all of these 6 players, they brought out their main. So it's just going to be who comes out, what matchup it's going to be, and who is going to be the better matchup and who's going to have the advantage. And we'll see what they send. It seems like Ryuki might be coming out, seeing that he's kind of fidgeting with his keyboard.
It is interesting that, you know, if Ryuki does come out, we do usually see Sujin Chang coming out for Peng on these sides, so that might just be an assassin mirror match. That's just a little bit of my prediction, but Tongshu, does he have his hands on? No. So we're looking towards Sujin Chang. He doesn't have his hands on the keyboard.
None of them have it on.
Okay, we don't know who it is.
They're playing games with us. They're like, you don't know who's coming out.
We're only gonna find out in these slides, and we know Bad Intentions might just send out Rookie, and we got to see an indication of that Peng Ondi, who they're gonna send out. Sujin Chang, as we predicted, is gonna be the one to make the appearance, and it's gonna be an assassin mirror match to decide the set 2 winner.
And with the mirror match, we've seen yesterday, or rather we've heard yesterday, how Ryuki was really dissatisfied with his performance in that particular setup. So now, coming into today, he wants to prove that, hey, it was a fluke, I'm much better than that, and he wants to show it right now.
Yeah, we'll have to see if he's able to prove himself and redeem himself, because we all know Assassin Mirror match, you have to get rid of the Lotus and the Stealth and then go for that 100-0, because if you don't, then, you know, the Assassins, they're both having the 2 escapes is just crucial. You can't do 100-0 unless you get rid of 2 of the escapes, and that's a lot of work cut out for you.
But that's game 2 is going to be slowly upon us, as Bad Intentions already picking up that game 1 victory. They want to pick up a second victory that would push them into a 2-0 advantage. Can they do it? We're going to find out. Sujin Chang has to be the hero for Taiwan. As we're still looking at the situation, Chinese Taipei wants to pick up the first victory here against Europe, and that's the one thing they're looking for. Already the stealth now, meaning that retreat also gone. Ludus escape, the only source of escape that Taiwan right now has.
Well, I mean, 360 no scopes, the snipes have been so good, but in the return, it's going to be even better. However, the flower is still available, so the timing is going to be crucial here, as so far Ryuki has had a good time. Expended now at that, so if he gets one more CC, that's it.
Yep, it is it, but they have been trading back and forth, so if Sushin Chang...
that's it!
Oh, there we go!
Oh.
This is it!
Goodbye, my lover, goodbye, my friend. You are done for.
You seem quite happy, Baruch. You seem a lot happier. No, you seem a lot
happy.
No, you
Ryuki.
seem a lot happier than the entire day 1 combined. And hey, understandably, EU is finally getting into form, and this is what we need for the West to be represented very well here. And we don't want to produce any bias, but Taiwan, they aren't performing to the level that we expect them, especially because of their achievements in 2017. In 2018, it doesn't look like the same team, and Bad Intentions is showing who the better team is right now.
Yeah, and you know, you saw, we all saw Ryuki smiling on that camera, but you know, as he was smiling, I was looking at the audience, and we saw some of these Korean people, Korean fans, smiling as well when they saw Ryuki on the big screen smiling. So definitely Ryuki has some fanboys and girls on the stadium right now.
I mean, that's exactly what I was going to point out. There's Bad Intention sign in the audience.
Wow.
Definitely fangirls here for Ryuki. I mean, it's the accent, you know. It's his particular accent catches all the ladies' attention.
You think so?
That's what you said.
You know, I would like
I don't
to
have that accent, so.
You know, I would like to humbly say that even if it was our accent compared to Ryuki's accent.
Wow!
Wait, what? What?
That tiny, I'm sorry to cut you off, but that roulette stopped at the smallest tag match. Remember that happened in the
it's
Korean
rigged.
season?
It's rigged. There's more weight on that little sector of that roulette, and it is bound to stop there every single time. And oh, roulette, why do this to us? And oh, EU, they're back. Bad Intentions, they want to finish it off right now.
Yeah.
One more tag, and Tenna and the boys, they're ready to finish things off. And Taiwan, see if they can do it.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they'll be able to come back, or if Bad Intentions will end the series right here, right now, with the 3-0 lead.
And it's going to be looking like, again, with the tag team setup, it's been all about bad intentions the last time. So it's going to be the question as to whether or not Pengandi will make the adaptations necessary.
Yeah, exactly. Because right now, Bad Intentions is just looking very happy, very good. They have the body of the snowman, like we mentioned before, and Pengandi, they have to build up their head and maybe even stick a carrot there to poke out and just kind of divide the body in half. Because if they don't find an answer to come back against Bad Intentions, they're just going to get sweep 3-0.
And at that point, it's going to be Bad Intentions. Interestingly enough, it's not going to be the rematch for the winner's side. It's going to be them going up against 200 IQ. But I'm a little bit ahead of myself right now. Of course, it's not over just yet. But making the reverse sweep happen, it's going to be such a tough ask for Pengandi.
And Pengandi, and they have to get it one game at a time. It has to start with this one because it is match point. And Bad Intentions, if they want to finish off the game now and wants to take a little bit of rest before the next one that does come through, they want to finish it off early, and it seems like Bad Intentions were on the way to get that done. And Europe, they had a long way coming from where they stood in yesterday's matches, and finally they're here, this wildcard. I think they're going to be looking for the finish, guys. We're going to find out whether Europe, with Bad Intentions, can make it to the next round of the wildcards with this one match that can decide all. Let's get into the game. Sushi Chang is back out to the field against Ryuki. Ryuki showed who is boss, both in the tag and the single. Once again, gets the stealth out.
And already building up that advantage is going to be so important here for the tag setup. Because remember, again, it's match point. If Bad Intentions win this one out, they will advance again. And with the assist prompted, Ryuki not even in need of help. It's going to be the reset happening here for Pengandi, but resources definitely an advantage of the European side.
Yeah, slowly. It was just one interfere, so in the first 30 seconds, so it's not too big of a deal. But again, wow, Ryuki's just taking this fight everywhere. He's taking him to school right now. He's like, this is school, learn to play the assassin. And that's exactly what Ryuki is doing by himself. Another assist, or interfere rather, coming out from the side of Pengandi.
Toshi comes in with nothing to do because basically he forced out the interfere coming from the destroyer from Pengandi, but really has nothing to do because it seems like Shushin Chang is not able to hold his own with that same assassin class against Ryuki, who's been playing fantastically all day today.
Especially now that the resets are going to come in, but at the very least, the good thing for Pengandi could be the fact that stealth is coming back up now, and eventually should be the thing to see whether or not it's going to build the advantage back in their favor. But it's been all about Bad Intentions. Oh, the snipe. It's not going to be there just yet.
We'll see. We'll see Sushin Shang not having Lotus, and he's in the air once again. Luckily, 10 seconds.
Oh my god, was actually crucial. The landmine effect got the knockdown with that poison breath. We did so much damage with that bombard. Just trying to finish things off, and Sushin Chang really playing with fire, just trying to get this free tag, and does get it.
He does get it. He does get it, but wow, Ryuki definitely teaching him how to play the assassin right now. And look at the health bar. He's not going to want to come in for an interferer just yet. We'll see if this matchup, Colorized versus the Warlock.
This is going to be really good because Fury is available, so he's going to just destroy that Frog most likely very fast. But return with the Destroyer coming in on the side of Pengandi, it's going to at the very least make things difficult.
All right. So that's going to be another tag point being used, and this time by Bad Intentions, with Colorized not being able to do much with that Fury execute towards that throw was going to be the objective there, but it's going to bring Tenna back out to the field with Lin Xiang out on the field as well. See what happens in this next interaction.
But as you say that Lin Xiang does tag out right away, Tang Hangshu does come in once again with the Fury build. It's actually on cooldown right now because he had to come in for that interfere. But we'll see if Tang Hangshu can make a difference this time around because he has been stubborn with that Fury build. Let's see it happen. Let's see it work out at least once before anything else happens.
That was pretty good though. Having the Typhoon timing perfectly there to make sure the time distortion isn't as effective as it really could have been. Makes Pengandi's chances a little bit better. Gets the knee off. And the follow-up, this is really good. Tenna not really playing too well right now.
He has the Fury, remember. We'll see if it works out.
Gonna bring out another tag here, and Ryuki's back out.
Double
knockdown is gonna be incredible. Once again coming from Ryuki and still doing the damage, literally all by himself.
Oh my god!
He gets a man and the
Double kill right there for bad intentions.
I'm telling you, are
Holy-
so excited, Bruges. This is a true, honest feelings right now, and that is incredible play from Colorize and Assassin from Rookie. We saw this yesterday, and it's coming along in style once again today.
Wow, and you know, it's not just Bruges that's getting excited. That double kill is worth being excited for. It doesn't matter what region you're rooting for. That double kill was beautiful.
And it's beautiful to see actually bad intentions coming together with Colorize, because yes, they played really well in the regionals last year, but to see them do the same type of combos with him on the board instead of Mr. B, I mean, this is just looking very nice now for you.
Just stick with that Colorize for the rest of the season. Why not? Because it seems like Colorize just wants to play 1v3 and is going to be very successful with it. He's having a laughter.
He's like, Tenna's like, hey, I want to play too.
I want to play some Blade&Soul.
That's literally.
Finally, they're finding a track. They gave these thumbs up last year when they were here at Worlds 2017, but have failed to do so in 2018 because they were so serious about getting these wins, and finally do so in the manner that they want, and that is match point, guys. EU taking down Taiwan 3-0, an absolute sweep for the very first time for the European side.
And this is going to be looking very good for them because they're going to be up against 200 IQ next, and as we said, they can be really streaky as a team, and the Snowball Man, that snowman body, at this point is going to be a full-on snowman rolling down a hill. I don't know.
Exactly, and I'm just waiting for the replay to show us that double kill that's coming up very soon. Here, the double kill right here. And that was just beautifully executed. But as we were talking about, now Bad Intentions will be going up against 200 IQ to actually go up to the top tier to secure that spot maybe and wait for the other teams to play out the rest of the wildcard series. But wow, Bad Intentions, they are on a roll right now. And now, finally, 200 IQ versus Bad Intentions, which is the bodies of the snowmans going at it to see who is the head, who is the smaller snowball.
And it's incredible to see Colorize subbing in for Mr. B literally at the last moment, but performing so well in his place. And I'm sure Europe would definitely appreciate his presence, but we're going to see what happens with him and along with the rest of Europe as they're going to go up against their next matchup in this after the short commercial break. We're going to be right back with the next half of this wildcard.
지뢰 터지면서 데미지
떨어지면 또 기회가 걸고 깎아버리네요. 준비 찾을 수 있다가 이런 거 마무리 잘하는구만.
이거 높냐 승리 가져가는 분위기죠.
또 마무리 지을.
박경 좋았어요. 박경 좋았어요.
상기 캐치 놓쳤어요. 다시 이어가야죠. 모처럼 잡은 공격 기회였는데 이제 몰라 이거 몰라요. 이석에 놓고
이거 몰라요.
이석에 놓고 5번 발산 넉백에서 시작되는 한방 대박 공보는 누구로 막았어요? 날 검을 무시해?
자, 저항이 좀 강한 검사이기 때문에 다시 한번 이 탈출기가 돌아올 때까지 시간 충분히 벌어줄 수 있고요. 자, 횡.
내중에 되면은 포이치원타 선수도 승리 충분히 잡을 수 있거든요. 잘 찍고
유럽 최강 권사와
아이고 나 올리고요.
일본 최강 역사간의 대결이기 때문에 그전 포인트 굉장히 재밌습니다.
네.
여기서
내가
다리
먹으면서 계속 포인트 누적시키고
일부러 버리고 일부러 근데 끌어왔어요.
역사가 성급한 아이고 와. 아이고 와. 네. 귀엽다. 진짜. 예상 그냥 넘어갈 수 없죠.
그러나 만나네.
공중에 띄우지도 않고 끝내요.
안톤 닐스는 오늘 되는 날입니다.
massive chunk there, thanks to the enthrall, and it gets out very, very quickly. But in comes Ryuki, best assassin EU, makes very sure.
And Lotus of Escape is still up. And here we go. This should be it for Polar Andrew. Drop the combo out from Ryuki, but picks it up again with that turning lead.
And let's see what he can do. Oh, the Firemine goes in there, and Zapish gets baited. Eye of the Storm's going to catch him out, and that's going to be game.
See how much damage he's taking. The setup that'll come in from the assassin as well. Ryuki does not miss tech check.
Oh, stylish.
Yeah, he knows.
But outside of that, doesn't get too much work done. Instead, it's going to be the damage coming out from Mr. B. Looking even better for him. Incredible, dropping to 33%. Now, persistence was used, but he gets the catch, and that is all he needs, Mr. B. Good, no Typhoon available, no wallbang anytime soon, and as a result, things are overall an advantage for Positive Eyes, but as Mr. B,
What's really the point? But now Ryuki's going to get a lot of good. There's that close shape to execute, and already Simons is out of the game.
Wall, but he's too switched on for that.
Yeah, he managed to actually do enough, but unfortunately for Zapish,
None so far.
and so far looking pretty good. Of course, second win not available anymore, but the air launch gets to connect, and he gets the kill right before the timer, so not a satisfying, but the King of Sword is going to come out, get a land of kill.
And you can't deflect landmine, my friend, into the air now. And Tenna's going to get the air combo. Brother Bill just kind of letting his friend die right now.
cooldowns are also on the right in case you want to see that smile.
Just Brotherville unable to do anything. It's all about Tenna.
Yeah, but
As a result, he's going to use the second win. Not looking too hot now, and then noticing this, it's going to be Tenna launching him up into the air. Easy opportunity for him as he gets the chase, gets the air launch, and gets the win. Bad Intentions are your European winners. They take home the money, they take home the scroll, and their ticket to Korea.
이게 뭐죠?
한기말산으로 장악 넘기긴 했습니다만 이 걸리면 따닥! 상태에서 걸렸고요.
따닥! 따닥 들어갑니다. 따닥!
이거 4번 반 들어가는 거 정확하게 맞춰오죠.
네, 체력도 한계가 와요. 여기 되면 죽어요.
자, 수다 캐치.
반격.
두고요.
네, 조금 더 밀어넣고.
김수환도 탈출이 있어야 되고 써야 돼요.
스킬 빼라였어요.
네. 이건 아직 나에게는 체력이 있다.
탈출기 바로 쓰고요.
도끼가 나타나. 도끼 나에게 도끼가 물어.
몰라 이거 몰라요. 아직 몰라요. 한기말산 안 들어왔어요. 탈출기 들어왔습니다. 김수환 기절. 안 돼요.
실패.
최성진 생명력 넘었어요.
돌고.
밀어내기. 그리고 여기서 띄우고요.
여기다 놓고 나 집어 던지고.
최성진
네.
캐치하면 이겨요. 캐치하면. 거의 우승이에요. 상대 이상기가 많아요. 얼굴 둘러놓고 본인이 밀어내고요. 빼내고 집요하게 괴롭히죠. 이거 좋네요. 강탈. 이야. 바로 탈기. 필자 가셨습니다. 오, 이제는 한중 선수 위험할 수 있어요. 공중에 띄우고 공중 콤보 제대로 들어가죠. 또 띄워요.
제차 3차. 이렇게 여유 있게.
시간 회복, 타이밍.
기분 좀 좋아.
Welcome back, everyone, to the 2018 Blade&Soul World Championship. As we're joined in this wildcard event that's going to be prolonging this day to action. And we saw Europe really surprised to see once again put such a dominating force. Maybe we did expect to win, but not to the extent.
I mean, playing to what we would have hoped for, really. That's what we're talking about. The potential, it's there, but they need to play to it.
Yeah, and you just mentioned that we expected good performance, but the performance they just showed us last round was just extraordinary, and let's hope that they can do this against 200 IQ, because 200 IQ against Japan, they came out pretty strong, and Japan was actually one of the stronger teams that are participating right now. So, both these teams now deserve to be here, definitely, and they definitely showed us in their own way, that they have their own tricks up their sleeves. So we'll see what happens with these two matchups.
Let me kind of rewind back to day one when all this came along, especially in Group A, where Japan had to go up against EU, and EU weren't able to come out on top. It was a close matchup, but they did lose out. And that same Japanese team lost to the same team, this 200 IQ. And now we're going to the situation where if you weren't able to beat Japan, but Japan even lost to Thailand, what are you in this scenario, in this EU? If you are trying to go up against Thailand, do you have a lot of hopes going into this one?
Yeah, well, we'll have to see, because like we talked about, especially with Bad Intentions, they have their ups and downs. They're very emotional, so like when they're on a bad day, it keeps dragging them down. But today, they're definitely not in a bad day. Their arrows are pointing up, so we'll see how well they do against 200 IQ. What do you expect?
Well, the thing is, 200 IQ, what really brought the matchup in their favor versus Japan? I really have to give it to the Summoner. That was the key factor that made sure that in the end, when it came down to it, the Gunslinger wasn't as effective as they would have hoped for, and it worked out better in the end. But no Gunslinger for Bad Intentions. Instead, it's the Assassin. And I think this mismatchup, while, again, in the 1v1 department, it's not going to be favored. Assassin's struggling, of course, versus Summoners, as most classes do right now. But still, this could very well be very good for Bad Intentions, or a better shot for them, because they already proved that they can execute those combos to secure those kills.
And we know that whenever Bad Intentions do lose a very significant tag match, they come back into singles the next one, and Ryuki's always want to come up to give the team morale and give that boost to make sure they can do better on the next tag match coming up. But I should just say that 1v1 mismatch, even if you put out the Assassin, even if it is Ryuki, he's going to have a tough time against Ratapon, which is going to be playing that Summoner all day long in that 1v1. It could further demoralize the side of Bad Intentions. If that happens, we know how emotional they can get, and if that really puts them on a negative note, we don't know what to expect.
Yeah, exactly. And you guys talk about Rathapon, the summoner of 200 IQ, but I got a quick shout out to Cymax, who actually plays against all of these players on Bad Intentions, so they're definitely used to going up against summoners. So let's hope that Bad Intentions has already figured out 200 IQ, especially that summoner that's been playing by Rathapon. But however, Ekasith, who is also on the Blade Dancer, he has been performing pretty well as well. So let's hope that they have the answer to each and every one of these players on 200 IQ.
And it is true that Thailand has looked heaps better than Taiwan throughout this entire tournament so far. It's only been day two for our event, but we can already tell the difference between the individual capabilities. Also, with the team merging in together, the sync has definitely been a lot stronger for Thailand for our first showing of that game, where we got to see in the earlier series. But now we look at them compared to EU. Bad Intentions, we didn't think we were going to have this much of a dominating performance against the Taiwanese side from that just the previous series. But now we're on to this one. Thailand looking like a much stronger opposition. We're going to see what EU is thinking of right now.
And I think this is where we see the beauty of worlds, right? Where we see the different regions bringing their own different flavor. In this particular case with Thailand, I really think that their respective builds is what is throwing a wrench in the works of the other teams, because when you have somebody like Ekasith running the dual strike, that's the iframe so often, way more often than any other Blade Dancer in the tournament, really.
Yeah, so, that could backfire, like you said. So we'll see if Bad Intentions notice that and take advantage of that. Or, if they let that go and let Ekasith do that and not get punished for it, then maybe in the end, Bad Intentions for not taking and capitalizing on the mistakes, or rather making Ekasith just be in his comfort zone, allowing him to use all of that skill kind of we can say kind of wasted, I guess, when used unnecessarily, and that could go bad for Bad Intentions as well. On the other hand,
And as you said, Cymex has been named best friend for Tenna for a good reason. They've played so many times on ladder, and this is the good thing for Europe as well. Or rather, I would have said that versus Russia, I think they stand the best chance potentially because they are well aware, well versed versus summoners, and this could very well be, again, the thing that will be favored for them in this matchup too.
Can they really shut down Ratapon Wongsuan? Can they shut down Akase Kashiren on that Blade Dancer? But we do have another player with Panya, Kokosemwang. He's going to be the Warlock. That has made a little bit of an impact, but more so in that utility role that has been very successful into his team's success so far. But coming into this one, we talk about Panya, we talk about Akase, we talk about Ratapon. These three players, you have to shut all of them down for your team to be successful, and that's a huge assignment for Bad Intentions.
yeah, especially if you remember 200 IQ versus Noonsong. Noonsong had a slight advantage only the moment when they got rid of that summoner, when they got rid of Rathapon. So we'll see if Bad Intentions can kind of focus him down because he is the main source of damage output. You know, yes, Ekasith played very well, and Panya, definitely the support role has been there, and we remember him from the supports and good interference and good time distortion at the perfect time. However, Rathapon is that damage output with the Rumble Beast, so when Noonsong Fan Club got rid of him, they actually won that tag. So we'll see if Bad Intentions has that figured out. Maybe they'll be able to focus him down. Maybe not eliminate him just yet, but maybe just allow him to kind of back off a little and chill and give a little bit breathing room to Bad Intentions.
It really was a scenario, sorry, but it really was a scenario where Ekasith, I mean, on that game versus Noonsong Fan Club where they eventually did lose out in that one little match, it was about Ekasith making the opportunity just as he always does, but no one to really follow up because the main damage source with Ratapon is not there with that Rumblebee. And obviously, you know, Panya can come in with the Hobas and trying to get the damage on, but it's just not the same with the newly summoner that is looking so strong in this patch.
And it's just, that's exactly the point I wanted to cover pretty much, is the fact that the thing is, yes, they managed to take out the summoner, but you can't count them out, and that's why I do believe this lineup and this team is looking scary, because even with one man down, and remember, he had all his resources up as well, so it was very early on, they still struggled to close that one out.
Yeah, we'll see if Bad Intentions will be the strugglers or if 200 IQ will be the strugglers, because these teams, they both won their games in the wildcards in their first match to come up here. So finally we'll be getting into the team introductions, and we're probably pretty used to all these players by now.
Well, you know what, Andy, like, we're gonna find out who the strugglers are going to be. We're gonna look at the team profiles of the two teams that will be facing it off. Ekase Kashiren, Ratapon Wongsuan, and also Panya Kokosemwang is gonna be rounding out the 200 IQ roster for Thailand. They beat out Noonsong Fan Club for Japan in a 3-1 fashion. So really an upset already. We didn't know what to expect from Thailand, but very good classes indeed. So coming out as a second place of their group, they're looking like the first place team out of the 4 teams that we have right now, but they do have to beat one more team, and that's going to be Bad Intentions.
It's going to be tough because while, yes, they did have those 200 IQ plays in a sense with those peculiar builds and really making the best out of their situation versus a gunslinger like Ain, and we'll see whether or not they can keep this one up versus Bad Intentions. And right now Ekasith looking to perhaps concentrate to get into this one, because it's going to be a long one. I feel like we will. I expect it to go perhaps all the way through.
Yeah, and you know, it just came to my mind after seeing 200 IQ with 3 players. So does that mean each player just has like roughly like 65 IQ, and they add up to a 200 IQ when they play as a team? They should have named themselves 600 IQ.
That's some next level thinking there, Andy. Like, you should probably
That's
go down to the
IQ thing.
You should just leave the casting booth right now. Just go downstairs. Just tell these guys that you should rename your team to 600 IQ, and we'll further delay this match. But you know what it is? They're gonna see their opponents. I mean, do they have 600 IQ? We don't know, because they only got basically 1 class registered per person. Daniel Kilger, Tenna with that Soul Fighter doesn't even count. Let's just not expect that to count.
Why does he even have that register?
Well, he did play it in the regionals. So
how many times?
Once.
Come on! It's just basically for fun, and Tenna, we're gonna see him play the Warlock. So basically, you know these guys. Colorize, and we're gonna see Ryuki on the Assassin, and we're gonna see Tenna not on the Soul Fighter, but on the Warlock every single time. He has been a fantastic player since last year, and he comes back this year with high hopes with his teammates, looking like he wants to make it very far into this tournament.
I just gotta say, I love Yuki's face in that picture. That was a good shot. That's probably why you have so many fans in the audience right now. But it is gonna be that Warlock Assassin Destroyer, and again, they need to keep up that momentum. That's what we're talking about, the streakiness, the fact that emotions can really get to them. Can't allow it to happen right now, because if they pick up a win now, they're going to be able to rest. They're going to be able to make sure they bring their all to get out of this wildcard stage and get to the semis.
Yeah, and Bad Intentions on camera right now, they just look a lot happier compared to yesterday. And, you know, talking about Ruki's picture right there, I wish when the camera's on him, they definitely know when the camera's on him, because, you know, the cameraman goes across. I wish he would make that face for us, because every time the camera goes, he looks very poofy and happy, and doesn't have that force that he's showing in that picture.
And you know what? You know, actions speak louder than words, and you don't need to show it on the face, but I was trying to show it just a little bit there, but otherwise, it's going to be mostly about Tenna getting that camera picture every single time, attracting the cameraman every single time. But, you know, Thailand, none of these making fun of these faces, trying to get some entertainment going. It's just about them trying to be serious as they can as they are getting ready for this game one, because all about them, it's about winning. It's nothing really else matters for them. It's all about these guys, see if they can get the games going. And now we're going to see some replays heading into this game one, and got to see what these players and what these teams had to go through to get to this scenario right now. And we are going to take a little bit more time for the Thailand players to set up here. But, you know, good highlights here. I'm sure you guys want to elaborate on some of these games.
I mean, the Summoner Mirror matchup already, as we said, when you think about Summoner, you think about Tatsuki, and having the likes of Radapon step up in a big way, bringing out the bees. As disastrous as that is for their opponents, it's still looking like the preferred build and the best choice right now.
Yeah, and you know, it's been working out very well for them, and Tatsuki bringing out the Sunflower didn't do much there, and you guys see this replay here, and this was the close one where they got that kill at the end and they were just able to secure that win for that tag match. But there's going to be, this is also coming back to Bad Intentions actually, this was also a very close match, and you know, for Pengandi, they had some close matchups, it's just they weren't able to secure it till the end, and at the end of the day, Bad Intentions just came out on top, and they were definitely on a good note.
And again, we do have to question Pengandi's choice, especially on that Destroyer, when it comes to his build, but we'll get to it eventually in the losers bracket side of things. In the meantime, though, as you see right now, it's been overall team play and clean execution coming out of Bad Intentions.
You know, we're just looking at these players now, and you know, happy faces starting to arise from day two. We haven't seen these faces from day one. They look awfully stressed. They look awfully sad about not accomplishing to their expectations. So, I know we're gonna look at the players once again. Of course, nothing changes in the lineup. Thailand bringing out Panya on that Warlock. We're going to see Ekasith on that Blade Desert with Ratapon, the star player for this team. Definitely is going to be on that Summoner, see what he can accomplish. We know Tenna, we know Yuki, we know Colorize. He's going to be on that classic rotation of the Warlock Assassin Destroyer. And of course, we know what to expect from both teams. Now, what we can see when they collide is going to be the next question we're asking.
Well, the thing I'm curious about is whether or not they're going to actually send Tenna as the starter for Bad Intentions, because if you have Radapon as a potential opponent at the beginning, we know Ryuki does not want to face up in that matchup, so I would expect to actually see the Warlock here for Bad Intentions.
Alright, we'll have to see who the starter is, but I just want to see some more double kills and that close shave execute, just execute in the proper way. And you know, we saw from Pengandi when Tang Hong-shu, the assassin, I mean not assassin, what am I saying? Tang Hong-shu, the destroyer, come out with the Fury Execute, and he has yet to land the Fury Execute. However, Colorize has been landing his executes even without the Fury and doing tons of damage, and it's been working out for Bad Intentions. Let's see if it will work out against 200 IQ.
And it also has a stability with it. You don't bring the Fury out. You get the execute damage. It does decent amount of damage, but you also have the stability with that persistence available as well. So really balancing things out, Colorize, just trying to make sure that risk factor is not against his favor. But Tenna, I mean, we haven't talked about him much throughout day two, because it's been about the other two guys with Ruki and Colorize really stepping up for their team. And Now we're looking at Tenna. Can he step up instead of yawning? Can he actually get some plays going? Because we really need it. Because in Tenna, he was always the main character of Bad Intentions. It's always been the case, but we need him to step up now if he wants to get bigger and better in the stages here.
Especially since, as of late, because of the most recent changes during the summer, during those qualifying tournaments, the Warlock was pretty much forced into more of a support role. So Tenna, as a result, was also playing more supportively, not as assertive, as dominant as we've seen him in the past. But now, as you guys said, he really needs to step it up as well, because we're at Worlds, we're versus the best teams, and they need to bring their best too.
Exactly, and if they do make it up out of the wildcards into the semis, then that's when they really need to step up, because yes, right now it's important to not get eliminated, but when you do eventually make it up, whichever team makes it up into the semis, that's when the real fight starts with all the strong teams. And the three teams that are waiting up there, they're just ready for blood. And these teams, they're just getting, this is basically the training ground. And when they get out of it, Tenna definitely needs to step up. And yes, the support role of the Warlock from Tenna is being played very well, but you know, he has to crack the shell and get out, play the support and the damage output as he used to in the past, regardless of what the patch is told him to play.
And soon enough, Badminton, even if they get into the next rounds, they're going to be with the big dogs and really trying to see if they can get all three players to contribute, because no two-man team will ever be the best team in the entire world, even for the best teams that we know from China and Korea and Russia. Russia needs all three players to compete to make sure they are the best team in the world. And that goes the same for Europe. Bad Intentions, with Colorize and Ryuki doing so well, it's going to get past them these stages. But more than these, once they get to the big dogs in the stages in the later rounds, it's going to be a lot tougher, so we need all three players to compete. That goes the same for Thailand as well.
Exactly, and the winner of this match will be going up all the way to the top of the wildcards and wait out for the rest of the teams to duke it out and then kind of wait for their opponent later on.
And I think that's going to be very important, and more importantly, actually, what you were talking about, Joel, is the fact that I feel that at this point, having Colorized in, they finally feel comfortable. They finally feel as if he's playing really well and they can really rely on him to make those plays happen, as we've seen with those combos, like they usually used to in the European region with Mr. Bean.
Yep. And you know, I'm glad that they're starting to find their comfort zone, and the teamwork comforting them as a team, and kind of it comes natural. When Ryuki does the close shave, it's very natural now to see Colorize just come in and land the execute instead of missing it. And you know, I'm not saying he missed it in the past, but it just seems more natural rather than just hastily coming in and kind of forcing the execute in there. And we do see Tenna landing those aerials as well, doing those damage out.
But we are finally ready to get into game. It took us a long time, and thank you guys for your patience, but we are finally advancing to Thailand versus Europe. Can Bad Intentions pull off another miracle? We're going to find out in this game one. And we are starting this game. Ratapon and Ryuki starting off. These damage dealers on both sides, and going for the cat right away. It's going to be Ryuki trying to see what he can get done in this first minute.
I think he just went basically for the safe play, but he does manage to land the stun. However, with the Pedal Storm being there, the assist is going to be prompted. Execute is going to be there, but unfortunately, not going to be enough damage dealt. And with Excessive Radder being there with the Maelstrom is going to be good, but now with the Aerial Web, Ratapon is going to be potential dangers, since we do see Stealth as well as Loads of Escape available, but Stealth now expended. And as a result, we see Tenna come in. They might be able to dish out some damage, but no, not going to be quite enough. And now with the Time Distortion, it's going to reset both sides.
All right, everybody gets escapes back. However, Ryuki still 20 seconds until his stealth comes back. The Lotus is put down. It disappeared. He has to be put down. There we go. He's going to play it aggressive, try to get rid of that escape once again, web in the air.
Ratapon finding it very difficult to find obstacles to get over, because it seems like Ryuki not providing any room. And speaking of, it seems like the first strike that came through, but the iron plating comes from Colorize right in time.
Knowing that the Executor is going to follow, that was a good timely backstep, but as a result, you might be in big trouble if Ryuki lands a stun, and very nicely done. Even with the assist coming through, he managed to play it safe, and again, it's been Ryuki who's been playing out of his mind, but now having used that Lotus of Escape could be in danger, especially since we do see Panya come in, but
gosh.
will force out that Void Walk, and all of a sudden, still not looking too hot for 200 IQ.
Yeah, Ryuki is just playing out of his mind, like you said, Brunj, and he's just carrying the team. He's forcing all these tags and all these interferes by himself. 3 more seconds onto the force tag. Let's hope that Tenna, who is coming in next, doesn't get chased, and that's perfect.
Nice.
Into the aerial and then the force tag.
That has been really, really nicely done so far by Bad Intentions. Good early potential lead, but again, the time distortion should be available on both sides. However, the Thrall will time out, so this could be an opportunity because Sanctum is out of the question too.
Seems like the Warlock mirror match is going to favor the side of Bad Intentions for initial time, because it seems like saving that 1 tag point will lead them quite a long way. We see the time distortion coming through on the right side, and Tenna using his along with the left side Panya using his as well. So we're going to see once again an interfere coming in for Hawkinson trying to go for that damage for Colorize, but really coming to, and it seems like Panya is still ready to fight this one. Ekasif coming back in.
Oh, that was really good though, because they did manage to force the reversal out of Ekasif, and now, even though, very nice take fly, it's going to be very dangerous for Ryuki. The aerial damage is there.
Second aerial with the chains, and this might be enough to finish him off, and
oh no!
Very dangerous in this situation. Can he survive?
Oh, he needs to get out. There it is.
Okay, there we go. All right, Ryuki has been performing very well, but he has also been punished for and taking that damage. And wow, Ekasif just, he's like, hey, compliment me. It's not only Rathapon that's doing well. And there we go. He's taking a nap. He's gonna wait for his cooldowns to come back.
And you always have to understand that for Rathapon to find success, it always has to be Ekasif providing that setups and getting him into the air. The double aerial every time benefits the summoner so well. And obviously the lightning draw is gonna definitely further help him out. And Ekasif still looking for a lot of damage here.
The tech chase not quite there, and as a result, Guardian Tempest did manage to keep the Blade answer safe, but now with the drag, we'll see whether or not it's going to amount to anything because the grapple is there. Flock is available. Tabscape actually used to get out of the potential wall bank, so good job on Ekasif to make sure he does avoid that, but I'm interested to see the fact that Bad Intentions, usually you have Ryuki expend those assists on Fighting Spirits. It's not really going to happen because he's really low on that HP.
Yeah, and you see the resources. You know, it seems as if Bad Intentions have a lot of interferes to be able to be used. However, like you said, Ryuki is very low, so he's just being cautious right now. Tenna, maybe he's waiting for that good aerial to be procced by Colorize before he comes in, or maybe the defensive interfere coming in with the time distortion. But Ekasif, 5 more seconds until that force tag out. We'll see what happens here.
More lightning draw just to get further damage before he does go out. Very much a mission successful. Does not even get chased in. Almost a drag was successful, but Rutapon is going to be once again saving Parkinson. Colorize, he's trying to do something for this last 7 seconds. See what happens.
So far, managing to do quite a bit of damage, and not only that, managed to stay safe and make sure he uses those cooldowns to great effect. Even forces out some potential, even greater danger here. But now, with Tenna coming into play, Sanctum is there. He will have the time distortion available, so I want to see whether or not we will have that classic Ryuki Tenna combo with the Fighting Spirit or that potential damage. But no, we will see a defensive assist coming out from 200 IQ instead.
Alright, well, 2 of the players on 200 IQ is out of assist
now.
now.
Oh,
but in
no.
the air,
No!
Oh, Tenna just gets deleted by the summoner, and this is what happens when you get into the air and the Rumblebees just sting you. But this time around, Ryuki wants to get that revenge.
I mean, a lot of people will notice Ratapon putting out the damage, but all the credits are going to Ekasif, really putting out the opportunities for his teams to really succeed in. Ratapon, you just have to put the damage in, just auto-click left and right, and that's all you need to do, because all the more, Ekasif is providing the godly opportunities for his teammates to get the job done. You saw it earlier, going towards Ryuki, and this one going towards Tenna, and this is looking very bad for Bad Intentions.
Especially since Wind Slash is the build choice here for Ekasif. He's been able to dish out quite a bit of damage himself, even during most of his time in the arena. So now, with the follow-up, this could be a little bit better. Gus is still available.
Great chase! That's fantastic once again coming from Ekasif. He is on top of things right now, and it seems like Bad Intentions cannot react to all of this.
This is going to be still potentially dangerous for Ekasif, though. He does have those tag outs. He needs to use them perhaps here after this Guardian Tempest times out, because reversal is not available. Phantom Grip is not going to connect, and as a result, if Parkinson here gets a chase, will not happen. The tag out will be their safe play coming up to 200 IQ, and they know all they need to do is play safe to win at this point.
Alright, we'll see if Colorize will decide to just focus on the Warlock instead of getting rid of the throw with Execute. Actually, he does go with the Typhoon here. Ryuki does have 2 interferes, but I don't know if he wants to use it because he might just get eliminated. The drag actually does connect with the smash.
Oh, good knockdown coming in, and that's going to force out once again Attack coming towards Rookie now, and very low on health, but still going towards Panya, and this Warlock is gonna be safely tagging out towards Ekasys, and Ekasys ultimate on top of it. Looking at unstoppable with these continual knockups, and the lightning draw should be enough. At the wind slash, obviously that will go through this time around.
Oh, that's not going to be enough, and as a result, Guardian Temp is still going to be there, but Stealth was used. Lotus of Escape is available, but so is Reversal. And now, nicely done. The stun off of the dual strike. It's not going to be quite enough, though. And as Ryuki did look for an opportunity himself, Maelstrom was prompted now. Assists will come online, and this could still be bad intentions. Finding a kill wouldn't execute, but it's going to be so tough.
Yeah, we'll see. Ryuki is out of both escapes. Oh, but there we go. This is it.
Card-1 so close on that interfere. That would have been enough damage, but that will be wrapped upon enough damage from the poke, and that's going to be the second man down. And Parkinson, Card-1, he's trying to do all he can with this Fury build, but nothing coming from it, as you can see.
Wrathupon, they definitely expected it. That is the aerial, and that is it for the first round. However, we saw the close shave, and we saw Colorize come in, but we also saw Wrathupon react to that, and perfect defense. Incredible performance by Thailand. They looking better than they were. I did against the Japanese team just a little bit earlier, and it seems like bad intention. They're doing everything right, but it seems like they're always on the one step behind when compared to Thailand, and they're always on top of it, especially Ekasys, Kaoshan on that Blade. There's just splendid performance, really keeping them on their heels, and you see bad intention really not knowing how to react to that one.
And I don't think on one hand, yes, it is the Blade, it is Ekasys, but when you have Wrathupon from the get-go, making it very difficult for your team to sustain, it's going to leave that much room for the likes of Ekasys to come in and just set up these beautiful aerials for those kills.
Yeah, and this was actually, we just saw Ryuki taking so much damage. He was unable to do too much because he was so low. He had the interferes, he wanted to come in, but he couldn't just react and just come in just in case he could get focused down. And this is where Tenna gets eliminated with one tag and two interferes. Very unfortunate, but bad intentions, they definitely had a chance with Ryuki's close shave, but oh my gosh. Wrathupon just reacting perfectly right here, right now. Oh my.
Incredible stuff, and we know the significance of this specific match. If you do win this one, you're going to be just resting for almost the entire day, and you're going to be just waiting in the silence, just waiting for that last match to come your way. Otherwise, if Bad Intentions cannot win this one, they end up losing, they're going to have to play a lot more matches right after this, and there's going to be a lot of fatigue that's going to be kicking in later in this match.
Especially since we've seen already Tenna has been yawning away on that chair, and it's going to be a bit of a problem potentially for them, but it's of course not over. We're moving on to singles, and I think this could still be where Bad Intentions can be looking strong. However, eventually we will be back at those tags most likely, unless we go to a Frio.
Well, we are at our singles now, and this is where Bad Intentions needs to cut off the momentum, even though it was just a single match.
Tenna's coming in!
Ooh.
Oh my goodness.
Alright, Wrathupon is well known for the Rumble Bees, but against the Warlock, a lot of the Korean summoners like using the Sunflower. We'll see what Wrathupon will go against and decide to go against Tenna, but wow, Tenna, it's been a while since we saw him in the singles.
It's always been Ryuki, and even Color is coming in multiple instances of this single trying to make it count, but Tenna, he really wants a chance for himself to speak, and he really wants to say that I am the key puzzle of this Bad Intentions team, and this team is complete because of me, and he has to prove it right now. That's individual performance is so important in this scenario.
It's just honestly, it's who would you send versus the summoner? It's obviously going to be Tenna in the sense because Ryuki's not going to have a good time. It's way more favored on the other.
We're going to see finally the Warlock Tenna really just appearing in the stands here. He knew that the summoner was going to appear, and that means that he's going to be the one to make the appearance here. Can Tenna win the singles? We're going to find out. Okay, we're looking at Wrathupon, who was a key figure in giving off the win towards 200 IQ, but Tenna, he wants to stop that run from extending a bit further. Wrathupon just looking for the strike here.
Well, that was a good start though, making sure the Hellstorm was already used, expended, and this is going to be again potentially good because the leech is there. The damage coming out of the Helix is even better. Time Distortion chasing him in down, backstep was expended, but if Tenna gets one more catch, this could be the set right now.
There we go.
There it is. But Petal Storm, clutch coming in, return aerial, it's not over yet.
Not over yet, but just remember, 20 more seconds onto the back. The backstab comes back from Summoner. One more Tether Blade cooldown coming back. Could be it for Rathapon. We'll see if Tenna will just go aggressive. There we go. He was back a little bit.
He doesn't quite have what it takes to close this one out, and now
no throw.
Petal Storm is there. Oh, there it is.
That last rupture is good enough, and you see Tenna is on his serious mode. He is not smiling. He just wants to win.
Yeah.
He really needs to cut that mood off, and then finally he did. 1-1 even towards Bad&Tinted. This is going to be a satisfactory result for them.
And this is what I was talking about, especially before. The fact that Tenna does prefer this playstyle with Warlock. Not having the double aerial, he'll take it if he gets the extra damage. And in this case, especially with this matchup, Destroyer is not favored anymore versus Summoners. Assassin's definitely not favored versus Summoners. So Tenna coming in good here for Bad Intentions.
Yeah, exactly. And we mentioned before, he has played against Cymax, so he's used to going up against any kind of summoners.
Oh, yeah.
They've played this build, that build, and Tenna is just used to it, and he just shows us that he is dominant over the summoner, and that was a quick win and a momentum cutoff for 200 IQ.
And it's all about the aerials for this summoner, really, because he ran the Rumblebees. You were saying how most Korean summoners would play Sunflower in this matchup, and the main reason you want to play Sunflower is because of Sanctum. You cannot hit your target in the Sanctum, where with the Rumblebees, as you could with the Sunflower. But what is it gonna be? Are we going to that tag again? No! Barely back to single.
It is not rigged, guys. We have confirmed that the wheel is not. Maybe they heard us and they fixed the wheel during the break.
We'll pretend like it's not rigged.
It's still rigged. Give us singles every time.
Yeah.
So it's still rigged, guys. OGN, listen to us. Just give us singles every single time, and yeah, we'll be fine.
Yeah,
but it's going to be another singles. So,
right.
with Tenna not being able to appear, with Ratapon not being able to appear, we're going to expect Ekasith maybe to come up online and on that Blade Desert, but who's going to be his opponent?
I think it might just be even Colorized because Ekasith on the Blade Dancer has been playing well and has a good time versus both the Assassin and the Destroyer. But, again, Colorized. It's nice to see that Bad Intentions are willing to put him out in the 1v1 setup as well, that they have the confidence in him. But Ryuki, at the same time, the way he's performing today, I wouldn't be too surprised if he was a choice, but it seems like it is indeed going to be Colorized.
Well, we might just get this.
They're just both not having their hands on the keyboard.
Tenna's looking at Ryuki. Ryuki's looking at Colorized. Colorized looking at no one.
Yeah.
Does that mean it's Colorized?
We'll see here.
No! I was wrong. Oh! Panya on the Assassin?
Okay.
Okay.
So for the qualifier, Panya
Yeah.
has played the Assassin in 1v1. So this is even better, but I'm surprised they don't send out Ekasith. I guess it's because Ekasith, they feel he's more of a better player in the tag setup, more of a team player than that individual performer.
All right, well, every time, whenever there's an Assassin mirror match, it's always pride on the line.
It is.
Not only points for your team, yeah, that's important, but especially for Assassin players, you have to be the better Assassin. You have to to secure that 100-0 first. You have to get rid of 2 escapes first and then, secure that win. That's just pride. It's just proving that I'm a better Assassin, and this is pride on the line for Ryuki and Panya.
Panya Kagasemwang, we know him as the Warlock of these tag matches, but he does have registered the Soul Finder and the Assassin with that, so, oh man, he's going to be bringing out the big guns in. Against Ryuki, this is going to be an important matchup, see what happens.
Especially since Ryuki has proved already today that he is on top of this matchup.
We'll see if he can continue that momentum, because he's been on the upside and he's been performing so well. Panya coming out with his Assassin now in the singles, however he's been playing the Warlock, so we'll see if he's warmed up enough to go up against Ryuki.
You're going to see what happens here. Ryuki, we've seen him in the past with these 1v1s, but he's going to be up against a brand new opponent. Panya Kagasemwang trying to bring Thailand back online with an advantage. We'll see if he can do it on this next single in Game 3. .200 IQ, Panya Kagasemwang is going to be up against Ryuki, Isaac Fernandez, and we're going to see what happens here.
Well, so far already a good start for Bad Intentions, getting the early lead, forcing out a Lotus of Escape, even the Smoke Bomb. Now the catch-up is still there too for him, and with the web, this is not looking good for Panya right now.
This is another stealth going out very soon. He's going to take a little bit more damage, a little bit more CC. There we go, there's the stealth.
Okay, this is his chance for 13 more seconds for Ryuki, and not much HP to take out, so that should be plenty of time for him to finish this off.
Yeah, there was no trade going on, so, you know, if there was a trade back and forth with the Lotus and the Stealth, then Panya still would be in the game, but no trade happened. Another knockdown. A chase happened, and it's over.
Oh, high
Incredible,
wire.
the high wire just to keep him at bay, and Ryuki got his strings
He should
onto
do this on the screen because he won with the high wire to work.
He can't think that far. It's Ryuki. We all know it.
Oh,
Oh, come on. Bring the spider back.
He's just
into
happy
the
about the win.
He's just happy about the win. Hey, that's a simple Ryuki. I like it. And that's all we know about him. And, you know, he gets the win. And finally, Europe has the advantage over the very strong-looking Thailand.
And that's the thing, if Ryuki's on top of his game, no matter which sin you're talking about in the world, it's such a tough matchup. And all throughout, he just took a little bit of passive damage, but that was it. He wasn't forced to use stealth, no Lotus of escape. The snipes out of stealth were all in favor of Ryuki, and as a result, it's about Fernandez, about bad intentions.
Yeah, that spider web right there. Spider-Man coming into action. But either way, like I said before, if there was in an Assassin Mirror match, when you see a close matchup, you see both of them trading their stealth, trading their Lotus of escape. But this time around, you saw Ryuki just getting rid of the Lotus, chasing, getting rid of that stealth, and then chasing again to finish the deal. And, you know, that just shows that Ryuki is definitely on top of Panya in regards to the Assassin plays.
Panya not so convincing in terms of his Assassin play, but we are going to get to set for where he plays. So Warlock once again, because it could be the very last one. If Thailand does not pick up the win here and get us to Game 5, that's going to be Europe coming on top as the best team out of the 4 teams that we have for the wildcard matchup. And they're going to be coming up on top, obviously not really making it to the semifinal yet, but still going to be one step closer, a lot closer compared to when they would lose this one. So, Tenna, Ryuki, and also Colorize, they are ready to take this one by the horns and trying to win a tag match, but they couldn't a little bit earlier.
And at this point, we'll see whether or not they can finally create the space they need, because so far it's been all about 200 IQ, and as a result, now that they're a bit warmed up as to what they're going to bring to the table, how Ecosif in particular, its playstyle is, I want to see them have those adaptations and make sure that they bring their best and those changes in their playstyle so that they get the advantage instead.
Yeah, and you know, as we said, Bad Intentions up 2-1. If they win this next tag match, they are done. They go all the way to the top of the wildcards series. However, let's hope that they don't slack off since they're you know, ahead of themselves, and let's hope that we don't see a set 5 rather, and Bad Intentions continue this momentum and just finish the deal.
But we are finally going on to this potentially the last match if we see Europe, Bad Intention finish this off. One more tag match all to do it. Thailand, can they extend it over to game number 5? We're going to find out in this game number 4. And we are getting the cheers for Europe from the crowds, and we're just giving him a 2 thumbs up in reply. I know he's excited.
Well,
super excited. Understandably.
This is what I was saying in the first set. I wanted to see Tenna in the opener because they're going to send Radapon for sure for 200 IQ. And Tenna showed first seed, first class why the Warlock can at the very least have a better chance at the opener now
There
already.
we go.
Ooh, familiar and Summoner taking quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, and forces to tag out. Panya comes out, the mirror match, and this is already a plus for Bad Intentions, but in the aerial, Colorize does come in, does a lot of damage, gets rid of that throw right away with that 5-second interference.
Gonna really put that vulnerability onto the opponent. Warlock here for Bad Intentions, and Tenna feeling a little bit more comfortable here, but does get the knockdown. Anya has to be a little more conscious of the fact that once that knockdown does come up, his teammates have to be there to follow up with a lot of damage.
But either way, Tenna definitely on the advantage. He did take some damage, but he did force that early tag point from Radapon. So we'll see if this will actually benefit them as they go on. But Tenna, you don't want to die though.
Just a casual walk-in by Radapon to dish out so much damage onto Tenna. You would expect him to tag it, and you would expect to swap to that healing Sanctum with the next time distortion just so he can survive looking out forward.
Well, Tenna does have the second win and the Void Walk available, so can save its chances, but it's definitely gonna tag back out. Actually do the same. Rookie coming back out and see what this assassin can do.
So far, Smoke Bomb was used, both defensive cooldowns, of course, available for the Assassin. Unexperienced did go for it previously, but now with the Lotus of Escape even used, he's going to disengage, make sure time distortion is not too effective. He's going to go back in with those iframes.
All right, he has to land the CC, maybe get rid of at least Void Walk or one of the second wins to take that advantage over, because he's already used his Lotus and now the Thrall is gone, but the Sanctum is down. The stun does land. Second wind is used from Panya. 10 more seconds until that force tag. Ryuki is going to want to chase. Ryuki's been chasing very well. He's been landing all the chases. We'll see if he'll be able to do that again.
But Panya is going to be safe for now. It's going to get the free tag in. Are we going to see the chase coming in? Not even forcing out the escape. So not the best of efforts coming from Ryuki on this end. And good back row chase. And it's going to force out the stealth. Very nicely done by Ekasith. Once again, he's been on top of things so far and is continuing to do so.
And this is exactly what I was talking about, Tenna. You did come in with the time distortion and made sure you did get that HP back up, but now, with the wind slash
not
again.
Too much damage, though.
It's not doing so much damage. It's lower cooldowns. It's a little bit more overall pressure, but as said, the lack of damage could in the end be a problem. But the thing is, when you have a summoner, is damage really going to be your problem?
Definitely not the biggest worry when you have Ritzpon, who could come in on that interfere. Does have 2 more until we get the reset. It just means that Ekasith just looking for that 1-1 good knock up into that area, and Ryuki will be a dead man pretty soon. But 5 more seconds for Ryuki to stand out, and he will be getting that free tag in over to Parkinson.
All right, Ryuki does get his stealth back. There we go. He tries to make something out of it.
Good knockback. Good chase coming in.
But Searing Strikes did manage to avoid that grip, and as a result, Aerial is good, but the follow-up not quite there. Just hit into the wall.
There we go.
There we go.
Ryuki coming in. Ryuki!
Ooh, but the summoner coming in to heal and support, not too much damage. Usually when the wallbang comes in, when you focus one down, one gets almost eliminated, if not eliminated. However, Rathapon, great supportive defensive interfere.
But it is a little bit unfortunate that it had to be a defensive interfere, that he wants to save that up for offensive use a little bit later on, but it's going to have 1 less of it. So Ratapon does save his teammate. Great effort there, but we'll see what that really affects them in the later game.
Especially since with the only class really that can deal with that Typhoon is this Summoner, but that was really good coming out of Colorize, making sure he forces that tag out as a result. And now Panya coming in without that second win. Yes, he will pop that time distortion most likely if he is in grave danger, but this is slowly but surely changing in the favor of Bad Intentions.
The resources seem pretty similar right now, so the health bar is pretty similar, I would say. Bad Intentions, they still have yet to make a move. Here we go, Typhoon. Void Walk is out again. Time Distortion, like Brunch said, is used now.
And now with Ryuki coming back into play, he's going to have a pretty good time versus the Warlock, most likely, especially since Void Walk is not available, so Bastion will eventually time out, and that is going to be his opportunity to force out that second win, and that potential advantage. This is a good start.
Finally, the second win does come through, meaning that Ryuki is going to be on the upper end of things, and Panya is going to be the one to probably consider tagging out to his next teammate, and he's going to do so. Ekasith coming back out onto the field, and it feels like he's the one to really make the difference for his members to contribute, and it seems like the Blade is ready to go.
Yeah, Bad Intentions, they definitely has to take it slow and make sure they find the perfect opening, because right now you see 200 IQ playing it very passive because they know if they lose this, they're done. So they're going to play it passive, wait for Bad Intentions to make mistakes, and Bad Intentions, they cannot get provoked by that.
Oh, so far the dodges on both sides are really good, but Ryuki coming out on top is going to be better overall because the Assassin does have those 2 escapes potentially. Now with the assist coming in on both sides, the Executor is there. However, it's not going to be quite enough damage as we did see the Summoner come in instead. The Aerial was coming through, but damage overall somewhat mitigated on both sides.
Seems like there's another interfere that's going to be coming in from the side of Panya.
Oh, no.
It's going to be going for a lot of damage, but that's not going to be enough time to go for the finish. If he had more time on the interfere, that would have looked a lot different there.
Tenna does come in for the defensive interfere, but still Ryuki takes a lot of damage. Now Tenna is on the field, Ryuki tags out. We'll see Tenna going up against this Summoner once again. Maybe he'll force out Rathapon to use his last tag point.
We'll see Time Distortion now coming into play. Can he secure a lot of damage or enough damage onto the Summoner? Because that's what he's going to be looking out for so far. Not too effective. Doesn't have that leech. Backstep still available for Rathapon, but now with the Aerial. Ooh,
but the cat.
Oh my goodness, the game saver right there. The cat coming in for the Summoner. That would have been very dangerous for Rathapon if he was caught upon that leech into the air. And going to be once again escalated by Tenna.
Ooh, execute.
Wow. Great save by Colorize because the cat had him pinned down. And Tenna needed to tag out, and great tag out. And Ryuki is back again against the summoner. I don't know if he'll be able to do so well. The back roll.
Like I said, you saw him
Lotus
come
is
back
out.
in.
Oh, it's not looking great
dangerous.
for Ryuki. Might need to use his last tag point.
Oh, especially since he does not have
There we
any
go.
other defensive options. Going to be Colorized instead. He still has that tag, and the assists are going to come through in the end. Overall, all over the board. So now, Bad Intentions. This is slowly going to go to timeout, and at that point, I'm not sure if they have enough damage so far. I do think they're slightly in the lead potentially with all this healing Summoner provides, but now Ryuki will still see whether or not he's going to come in with the Fighting Spirit set. No, the familiar! Oh, MVP right now.
MVP right there. MVP right there. Every time something critical is about to happen, the cat just pins you down.
That's all it really needs, and really Ratapon has been very successful, mostly due to his cat more than himself. So it's going to get the free tag out, and it's going to bring Ecosys back out onto the field. It's going to have one more interfere from Ratapon to do all the damage. This might be the opportunity now.
Oh, especially now with the assist, the grab was good. And this is going to drop Colorized extremely low. However, he's going to tag out.
Oh, good
It's
chase
gonna be
coming in.
Tenna.
It's going to force now once again another retreat. And Tenna, you have to be a little more careful as you do come in with these tags
Oh,
in.
but Ariel, do some damage output here. No interference, so this is just going to be tagged out. So it's basically going to be one-on-ones until the 1 minute mark, which is still 50 seconds left.
Colorize could come in, though. He does have that one assist. The only assist. The Leech is going to connect
Ariel.
the aerial. Can he close out a kill? Time Distortion is connecting as well, but the tech chase is not quite there.
Tags
Instead, ooh, it's going to be the tag out, and as a result, the Warlock on the other side, Panya coming in. However, this is looking very bad for Bad Intentions if they can't land those kills, because the damage overall should be pretty good for 200 IQ as well.
The Thrall is gone for Tenna. Panya might make his move, but on the other hand,
Oh,
Tenna
that's
is just
good.
going aggressive right now. The execute does not land on Panya, and he does tag out safely.
Oh, now Tenna in grave danger potential with the Summoner. We know how dangerous that can be with the Rumblebees, as he will take
look
so
at
much
the damage!
damage.
What does get it?
Disappear! Absolutely, and that's going to be Tenna gone. And for this last minute, we know the importance of Warlocks, of what they can provide in terms of damage and in terms of utility. They're not going to have this for the last minute of the game.
Wow.
Oh,
Well,
man.
the 1 minute mark has passed. They do get the interferes. And like I said before, Ryuki and Colorize, they could definitely do it with the close shave and the execute damage if it lands. But Ratapon, they found the answer to that combo, as we saw before in the first tag match.
They need to play it faster. They need to stay safe.
That's
No.
it. The Summoner, Ratapon, once again feeling like he has figured out how to deal with this Bad Intention. And it seems like another tag match will be upon the Thailand side, and it seems like 200 IQ will have the smarts once again to win this one.
We'll see, though. 25 seconds left. Can somehow Colorize survive, and perhaps some way they did more damage. I doubt it, though, as so far it's Ekasiv is the grapple. Dia says this could very well be the kill, but no. Colorize, how are you alive? Still with the Searing Strike, is going to be able to spin around. He gets some potential good fall, but no. Ekasiv
that's
lands
it.
the wind slash. 8 seconds. This surely is going to be at as the aerial connect.
Should be more than enough.
No.
Back roll
There it
chase.
is.
There it is.
Ah,
It's over.
barely, barely.
Wow. There was
Wow.
the clock. It was a buzzer. It's not a buzzer beater. It's like a buzzer killer. Because like at the last moment, like we thought it could have gone to a TKO because the timer ran out, but the kill happened a little bit before, and they do take the victory.
Even if it did go to TKO, and the damage shot definitely would have gone towards the sign of 200 IQ. We saw that more convincing after they got that first kill onto Ryuki, and once they got that kill onto Tenna, that became basically the end of the story right there.
Oh man, the last second. Even with that, even if it went to timeout, as we've said, we're not quite sure if they have the damage to secure the win, but that was so close.
Yeah, it
Colorize
was.
played it so well to make sure he stalled.
Now we're in this scenario. If Bad Intention loses one more match, after coming this far into this matchup, they're going to have to play a whole slew of matches in the second half of this broadcast, and that is going to be a real tilter, I'm sure.
Yeah. The thing is, last Sun versus Japan yesterday, it came down to the 1v1 at the end, and we're most likely going to see Tenna again. And he already had that problem yesterday, and now losing this tag, he might not be in the best mental state, and I'm kind of worried right now for Bad Intentions.
Yeah, and set 5, we know it to be singles, and we'll see if Tenna will come out or Ryuki or Colorize, because all three players from Bad Intentions could come out. But like Grunge said, depending on their mental status right now after losing this, where they could have won this and closed it out, but now they have to go to that risky 1v1 for that win. And like Joel also mentioned, if they do lose this, whichever team, they have to play a whole set of new games in the second half. And I know they don't want it. I know they want to kind of go all the way up there, wait, and let the other players, just other teams, play it out. But we'll see what happens after the set 5.
Well, and then you two mentioned that every one of these 3 players can play in this next sequel. It means that it's the same thing for the other side. It seems like no question about Ratapon probably will be the one to make an appearance. So it has to be the Warlock. It has to be Tenna for this rematch once again. I would probably predict.
And there it is.
Yes, it is. It is the rematch.
And it just makes sense because
Yeah.
out of the side of 200 IQ, the best class in that 1v1 is going to be the Summoner.
Always.
So you really want to send out your best shot at dealing with that Summoner. And we've seen Tenna can do it in the past. But question is, can he do it again? Because one mistake could be the thing to seal the deal here for 200 IQ.
So much pressure on the line after coming this long. They could lose it all here. Bad intention. They want to exert one more effort to win one more match. Let's see if Tenna can do it. Just imagine what this means. 2 matches where they definitely could have just taken it in the bag and won to the advance to the next round. And here they are all tied and even. And Tenna, it's all up to his shoulders to make sure they advance to the next round.
No pressure, you know? No
You think
pressure
so?
at all.
You think so?
Same goes for Rathabon as well, so we'll see which one comes on top. This time Tenna is getting poked down. Oh, it's not looking good. Time distortion coming out already.
Oh man, I mean, this is not a good start for Bad Intentions. We do see Ratapon having a better time this time around, but now with
there we go, with the leash landing.
You see the backstop still available, so he will finally use it, but he gets the cast!
Oh,
he gets the
does it!
Tenna!
He does it!
He gets
Tenna! Oh my goodness,
Oh.
when everything is on the line, when
Wow.
his team depends on his shoulders for his plays to make all the difference, he does it again. Rematch between the Summoner and Warlock, and Tenna does come out on top once again.
Look at those manly shoulders. When people depend on him, he lends his shoulders, and he
Got
definitely
him.
took that, and he won this. It wasn't looking great in the beginning. The early time distortion to negate and to cancel out, and then he took that advantage, and he capitalized on it, landed the leash, landed the Tellerblade, landed the catch, and he was able to cleanly finish it with the counter.
And let me give you a quick insight on the interview during regionals.
Yeah.
When they asked Mr. B, who is the strongest player on your team?
Yeah.
He said, with a truthful answer, probably Tenna. He has the strongest muscle. So, as said,
That's the wrong answer to the wrong question. He wasn't answering the right
carry.
question.
He can carry.
No, that's
his
not what he was
weight.
asking. That's not what he was asking.
Well, he has the strongest muscle. Well, he has proven so right now.
Good old Mr. B.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he's not here. Maybe he.
Wow.
Hey, maybe he answered the wrong question during the visa interview or something like that.
Okay.
That's why he didn't get it. That's what I was inferring to. Nothing else. Come on, guys.
Yeah,
Let's
but
get
look,
in here.
this is actually the results of the first half of the wild cards, and the losers, as you see, Nusong Fan Club, Pengandi, and 200 IQ, they're not eliminated yet. Same goes for all the other teams as well. They will be playing in the second half. They do get their second chance, except for Bad Intentions, who came out on top. They will be waiting for that one team to make it up there.
And now we're starting to get a highlight of what the second half will look like. Bad Intentions waiting for that last matchup. It's gonna be waiting in the King's Row, ready to be dethroned by whoever wins between 200 IQ and whoever wins in that match one. Noonsun Fan Club and Pengandi will start us off right around that 1600 KST mark, and we're gonna get to 200 IQ to face off against them. So lots of matches prepared for you guys. It's gonna be double elimination, 2 chances being allotted to all these teams out there, and it's still no one's game quite yet. We're not gonna have eliminate teams, not just now, but slowly and slowly we're gonna get these teams to further and further cement themselves into the semifinals.
Coming up next with Noonsong Fan Club and Pengandi. I mean, already down and out potentially. Japan would be such a surprising turnaround.
And we're gonna see what happens here. We're gonna take a short break, guys. Might be a couple of hours, but once we're back, we're gonna get back to the second half of the Wildcats. We'll be right back.